Well, stoked. Yeah, here we are back in Durbanville. It is the TRYHARD podcast. We're back for another episode. It's been a while, but it's because we've been waiting for this precious moment. Jabhi Mabuza is here with us on the table with Darth Dre and myself. I mean, this is something I think we've been wanting, or a conversation we've been wanting to have for longer than the podcast has even been alive, to be honest.
Pretty much.
We have the man himself, the best player initially in South Africa, then Africa, and now the next step on the ladder is world domination. Jabhi Mabuza, how are you, dude? Welcome.
I'm good. How are you, man? Yeah, it's been a while. Like, I know we've been trying to get it off the ground. And what were the chances for me to come to Cape Town?
Lovely, bro. Yeah. So, I mean, we get started with the conversation. I think you and I were touching a little bit on it earlier on the way from the airport.
Yeah.
Just kind of like how we want to kind of start this conversation, how we're going to post up the initial question and kind of just lead it up to where you are now. So I think for me, something that people really haven't gotten a good idea of is Jabhi Mabuza, his upbringing, the origin story, Alexandra township. I mean, you'll go into detail on that a little bit more, but what was that kind of early life for your experience here in South Africa? Obviously, the world kind of knows of our challenges, whether it becomes from a kind of financial, economic perspective. Obviously, you growing up in the township, in the Kasi, as we like to call it, growing up with your grandmother, now having a younger brother, or you've had a younger brother for a while now, but, kind of being that kind of, if you want to call it, the dad of the house for a while, dude. That's kind of what it turned into. So I think from the beginning, I remember you telling those stories of your dad taking you to the spaza shop and playing on the machines, and kind of that was your intro to gaming. But anyway, take us from the beginning to the point of, I want to be a professional Street Fighter player.
Yeah. I don't know how many times I told that story before.
Yeah,
but I guess
in
now,
bites. We want the source now. Right?
I guess now I can go more into detail, because
awesome.
In most interviews, it's like I've only got like that 15-minute or mark, and I have to now always just choose this section, go this one.
Yeah.
But yeah, going back, I was like, about 5 years, where my dad came back from work, and he just said, "Come, let's go play games," And we got there. There were 2 arcades. There was actually 3. I can't remember what the third one was. I think the third one was Pac-Man. And it always had the adults there. And then the second one was Snow Bros. And then the third one was Street Fighter 2. So my dad took me to play Snow Bros, and Snow Bros was we can play co-op together.
Okay.
So we would always play that. When he came back from work, we'd always play, but I'd always be looking at the other one. I didn't give 2 fucks about Pac-Man, but I was always looking at the Street Fighter, But every time when you would play, and I would always be rushing in, die, and then I'd be like, okay, I can't play. And my dad, you can see he keeps going.
Okay.
And I'm like, hey, die, so we can,
start again. I want to play.
I want to play. And at first he'll be like, "Nah, let me finish this stage quick. Let me beat this boss quick." Then he ends up dying. Then we start again, and then after we go home,
it's in the genes, eh? Dad's a gamer, bro.
The one time when I could now go by myself, it was like a walking distance, and I'd always want to go try Street Fighter. And they had the cracked version, the Rainbow Edition.
Okay.
I'd say the cracked version because it wasn't official by Capcom. But I don't know how it came about, but that one where you can release like 10,000 Hadoukens, like the Ryu's flying in the air and stuff. No, they had that version.
That's the weird thing, though, about South Africa, to jump in there. Like, even though we might not be first world, we had access to all the chip things we needed for PlayStations. Every console you had, you could chip that thing, no problem. So it is interesting to know. We had access to that kind of stuff,
And funny enough, because Gal was the one character everybody picked. If you want to finish the game, you pick Gal because you don't have to charge the boom.
Okay.
And you can just chuck so many booms. So you chuck a boom, go up. Chuck a boom, go up. So you keep yourself in the air by chucking a boom.
Okay.
Then he stays in the air, and then you jump again. You chuck a boom. You jump. You do that the whole game. Until Ken is there, because he had the Shoryuken that goes from one end of the screen to the other one. So you'd have to now make sure you're high up so that he can't touch you.
What kind of Street Fighter are we playing here, bro?
There were some other ones.
Definitely not training your fundamentals.
No way. But funny enough, and I could never play because every time there was a huge line.
Okay.
And you know that the one guy is going to play, he's going to finish it. The next guy's going to come, he's going to finish the game, and you're not allowed to challenge them. You know?
Okay.
And I was still, really, I just wanted to try it out.
A youngster here amongst the old men.
And now the good part was my dad, he took me to a private school. I was like the only black person there, and those schools, their school terms were a bit funky. They were not like the government schools. When the government schools opened, we went on holiday.
Okay.
So that was my time to go to the arcade because nobody was there. So I'd go there and now practice my busted gal, and when I could finish it, I just now had like the urge, okay, let me try out another character. Okay. I want to try Ryu. Okay, then I tried Ryu, but now I couldn't do the quarter circle. I'm so used to left, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to do the quarter circle, it's not working. And then after, if I go to the other side of the screen, I couldn't do it. When I finally just mastered that, I started now, when I used to walk to my grand's place. On my way there were so many arcades, So I'd always look for like other games, and then I found a proper Street Fighter. And I'm wondering, like, hey, Ryu's not flying here. What the hell's going on here? And I'm seeing people playing fundamentals. I'm like, what's going on here? What kind of version of Street Fighter is this? And
actually kicking and punching, not just throwing fireballs and shorties.
Yeah. And they had different tech for the computer guy. If you whiff a DP here, guy's gonna flash kick and he's gonna whiff, and you just combo him on his way down. They had those kind of techs for Gal. So I started now playing the proper Street Fighter.
Okay.
And then I got introduced into King of Fighters. And when I was like, it was like a sponsor shop that was introduced not far from the original one that I went to. And when I went there, I saw a King of Fighters 95.
That was the one, eh?
Yeah,
95 was so good. That was at where I stayed as well. Always played Yuri in KOF 95. What a game.
No, for sure.
Yeah, it's surprising to think like random jump in there, but KOF is probably the most popular fighting game in South Africa from like an arcade perspective. Probably the most players at that level before consoles and PCs became a thing. KOF was like South Africa's fighting game.
It was. And when I saw, because I saw Rio, and they were all modeled after Ken and Ryu. Rio, Roberts and stuff, they're all modeled after Ken, Ryu, and Dan. So when I saw them, I was like, okay, this is Ryu, but something is not right.
Ryu at home.
I was like, okay, I want to try out this game now. Yeah. I'm pretty sure the inputs are the same. And why do you know the inputs are the same? I just couldn't do the supers.
Okay.
Because now the KO of supers, it's like you have to do a quarter circle that side, make a quarter circle back.
Cheap.
And we used to give these movements a specific name. So like for a quarter circle, we just say, for a down forward, we just say C.
Okay.
You're going to say, yeah, just do a C. It's going to come out. And it does come out. And then for the supers, for KOF, we're like, yeah, do an S. Do an S this side. Do an S that side. And the supers would come out.
That's amazing.
And you want to do an uppercut, do a V. But the V must start with going forward. And it works till this day. When I do an uppercut in my controller, I still do a V.
That's amazing.
Because this was the time before internet, there was really an easy way to figure this stuff out,
Yeah. And that's how, but I also,
that's epic.
While I was playing these other games, I also liked the small adventure games, There's a one called Bubble. I was always on that game.
That was awesome.
Yeah, I was always on that game, And I was always trying, I think it was the second one where each time you beat a boss, a door opens up and you have to choose between one. I would always go for not the normal one, I would always go for the hard version. I used to like doing that at the arcades.
That competitive PvP nature started in the arcades, right?
And also that also carried over to fighting games, because then I would now play the random. If the guy say this character's weak, okay, I'll play the character, and I would body people with the weak character. They're like, no, something is wrong here, And this is where the arcade closer to my grand's place. That one, the guys didn't mind if you challenged them, Until I was beating everybody. Then when I wanted to challenge them, I would always get threats. In the arcades, I was always fighting. As a kid, I was always fighting. Because it's either the bullies are picking on my friends, and my friends come and call me to come and beat them in KOF. And then I beat them, and then now it's a whole problem.
Money matches.
No, not to say it per se, but it was
The rivalries were being formed then already.
yeah, rivalries are being formed, and at the same time, it's like, hey, the one guy wants to challenge you, and he says, if you beat me, I'm beating you up. Then you beat him, and you're like, oh man, we'd rather go outside.
Geez, the stakes were a lot higher back then, bro, than they were for us, bro.
I don't miss those days, but yeah, those days, I think my uncle was always coming up. I was like, okay, who was fighting with Jab? Who was fighting? Why? Okay, they were just trying to bully him. So I got into a lot of trouble of fighting games. Only by my grand's place. Other arcades that were chilled.
And at this point, have you already now moved to your grand? You're staying with your grand now, yeah? And then what age is this?
This was still around, something like 8 years, 9 years.
8, 9 years old, okay.
Around that time, I was still playing. I was dominating people, 10, 11. And I was beating guys who were like adults and so forth. I was, because then, especially when I got into my early teens, I had good fundamentals. I just knew that, okay, what is he going to do? He's going to jump, I'm going to DP. Okay, he won't know what to do. He's going to sit and block, I'm going to throw him. Yeah. The basic fundamentals I started developing in my early teens, Okay. And when I started moving around to like my cousin's place, I would meet guys. There was an arcade that's like King of Fighters 96. And the guys there, I thought, okay, like the way I know how to play King of Fighters in the township is the same way I'm going to play against the colored guys now. But the colored guys were using mechanics. So each time I tried to charge, because in KOF you charge, especially in the earlier ones, you can just press, I think like 2 buttons, it starts charging. It's charging is super. But if you taunt, you drain that meter.
Okay.
So when the guy was like, and he kept on taunting, I was like, what the fuck is this now? I'm like, okay, this is now, he's like, we're playing fundamentals here, bruv.
Taking the game to another level,
Okay, cool. Then I beat him at using fundamentals. Then he came back and he picked the team and he started using plus on block moves on me, and I had no clue what the flip that is. He's just now, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm getting destroyed.
Layers.
Then I come back, and he destroys me again. I'm like, okay, damn, I don't know what to do now. And I'm out of coins. Go back,
shit.
ask my uncle. My uncle doesn't have. So then the whole day I'll be sitting thinking, what could I have done right?
Yeah.
Okay, following day I'm going back there, can't find the guy. So now I keep going back there, and then okay, time to go back home. You come back, you're like, where's that guy? He's not there anymore. I don't know. I've never. It's one of those guys you meet once and then never again. So now I can't get my revenge.
Shame,
I'm just that kind of player. If you beat me once, just know the second time it's not going to be the same thing.
The time's coming, bro. He's going to see you win that Capcom Cup and he'll be like, hey, I remember this guy from the arcade. I need to get my match against him.
Lifetime, I'm still up against Jabhi.
It's like that classic Israel Adesanya and what's the South American fighter that he ended up... Pereira, when he literally saw, after beating Israel in like kickboxing years before, now Israel's this UFC world champion, blah, 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 and this Pereira's in a pub in South America and he sees him on the TV. He's like, what, I beat this guy, joins the UFC and becomes a world champion himself. So maybe it's one of those moments, except you won't let him beat you.
I doubt you remember. I was still early teens. This was right before, maybe after high school a bit. Okay. But also in the townships, there's a certain age where when they see you in the arcades, they're like, no, what are you doing here? You're too old for here. So then that kind of, so I stopped going to arcades.
Hey, go to N1 City, Wonderland? Bro, there's buddies playing there. Like the color guys are still on those KOF machines to this day.
That's Cape Town. But yeah, I mean, then I stopped now attending arcades. And then after high school, there was like, I moved to my uncle's place and there was an arcade there. And I would always go once in a while, and this was when they're playing KOF 2002, and I still had the drive. And the thing is, in 2002, you could play any character, like you choose 3, but you could always just use the 1-for-03, and they'd always pick Ruger because Ruger was busted. In Mexico, I know he's banned. You can't play against it. Like there's a sign there that just says this character's busted. So now I would play the ordinary characters, I wouldn't even touch because I'd be like, this is stupid, Why are you playing a busted character, And then the guys, every arcade I went to, there was always guys who would look at me. He's not playing Rugo. Put in the coin. And then I'd beat him, and he goes and calls the other guys like, "Hey, guy, this guy beat me without playing Rugo." Comes again, the other guy comes, puts in a coin. I beat him again. He's like, "Okay, no, we need to now get another guy." The other guy's like, "Yeah, right, he beat both of us without playing Rugo."
Yeah.
He's just playing the normal characters. A guy comes in, I beat them all with just the one character. And in my mind, I'm like, do they not know that this thing is punishable? So there was super that Rugo would do, and he would keep chucking fireballs. One of them you can't block, the other ones you can block. So I knew the sequence, like, okay, block, this one's you roll, block, roll. Oh, he's wide. Oh, now I'm straight in his face. He's wide open. I do my super.
Okay.
Or they'll do this other super of his where he would try and grab you. There's like a small window that you can punish him.
Yeah.
From certain ranges you couldn't punish him, but I knew that in and out. So they would do it, and they'll keep doing it. I'll just walk, block. Oh, I'm in range, punish.
So you were really spending a lot of time already at a young age, really trying to understand the fundamentals of the game instead of just playing and kind of seeing how things go. You were spending time learning.
Yeah.
Were you looking at information outside of the arcades, trying to find information on the characters, watching? Obviously, at that stage, we didn't really have Twitch and YouTube and all these things that you could use, all these resources. Was it just pure studying people at the arcade, watching them play, and you then learning on the spot?
That's all you could do. But I was always like the curious type, especially when it comes to games. I was always curious, can I do this? So I would see, like, even a 2005 KOF, there's also another broken one where you're just checking millions of supers. I was always curious, like, can I dodge this super by using this character's super? Challenge the one guy. I'm like, I don't care if I lose, but I just want to see if it works. Oh, it works. Okay. Now you can't do this anymore. You need to think of something else.
Yeah.
At that time, I'm already thinking about, okay, what other character can do this? What other character can do this? Okay, I can't do this because if I do this, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. If he blocks it. So I was always thinking like that kind of. While they start thinking, okay, I can't chuck the super now, but I can chuck it a bit later. I've already thought of, okay, how do I counter the super?
Yeah.
So if I see it, I'm gonna react to it. So that's the mindset I always had. I was curious, can I do this? Can I do that? And it's still, I still have it in my Street Fighter 6 years.
Yeah.
But yeah, after the arcades, especially when they died down, now we're on PlayStation. I'm like, man, no more competition. I'm busy now playing God of War. I'm playing all these these RPGs. And yeah, I was enjoying them, but there was still the craving for
the competition.
The competition. It didn't at that time. It didn't matter what kind of competition, but any competition. I just was craving that competition. And funny enough, when because I was always the late bloomer. When people were on PS2, I just got a PS1 at the end of its lifespan.
Yeah.
And then when PS3s came out, that's when I started with the PS2.
Okay.
PS4 comes out, I'm on PS3, and people are playing Street Fighter 5. I'm busy playing Capcom vs SNK2, a 2021 game. So and then that's where around the time it's when I was like, nah, there's gotta be for fighting games. There must be a tournament. Open up Facebook, I see the Rush post for Arena Fights Night, hosted by Luca. I'm like, okay, you know what? Let me go to Rush. It's right here in Santon. Okay, cool. It's one taxi. I'm there. Okay, I get there. I see Street Fighter 5. I'm like, okay, I've never played this game, but I'm pretty sure, my fundamentals will carry me. So that's when I think Jason was there. Jason Rip. A lot of people were there. I was just bodying them, with just the normal fundamentals. Never played this game. I don't know what the V-Trigger did. Oh, it looks cool, but what does it do? Okay, that's a story for another day.
Yeah.
I don't know what it does.
I remember we actually had the EFC athletes then that weekend. Like Drikus was there before he became famous. You had Damate, Penna, all they're playing fighting games with these guys, which was hilarious to think like how you've got a world champion in UFC, and now we're about to have a world champion in Street Fighter, all starting their little careers in a very random environment at Rush.
It's funny because we started at the FIFA section. We're like, I was like, no, I'm not going to win this, but you know what? If I do win it, I'll buy a PS4 and then buy Street Fighter 5. I went, and in FIFA, I think I won my first 2 games, and then I lost the other one 1-0. While my friends My little brother got destroyed first time. He got 6-0, 6-0, thank you for coming.
His puts always had to watch his older brother flipping, just dominating in games the whole time. Oh, poor Wayne. We love you, Wayne. We see you, bro. Don't worry.
But the one guy, he went pretty far. He went to, was it quarters or semis? You know, he went pretty far. Then we went to the Street Fighter. Okay, I went to top 4. Then I faced, this was when Ragnar, Lebogang, and Ren were there. I didn't play Ren.
Dude.
I played.
Where did old Level go? Hey, damn, old Gal machine as well.
I played. What was this? I played Lebu. He destroyed me. I played Ragnar. He destroyed me with Karen. I just did not know what was happening, and I'm just going fundamentals, and I'm doing okay-ish. But you know, I'm just like things are just not working. I'm like, oh, damn, how the flip does this game work? You know?
Yeah.
I thought it was just going to be fundamentals, and I realized that, you know what, unfortunately. You have to own the game, you know, or you have to have knowledge. Then Lebu was the one who said to me, you know what, there's actually a big esports scene. You know, just go to YouTube, search these things, and you'll see that there's a lot of, there's actually a big tournament scene. Yeah, I think was it Timothy? Yes, Tim. He then calls me over. He's like, yeah, okay, you're 4th, put in your name
Mr.
there.
Lester.
Yeah, he's like, putting your name there. I'm like, what is it for? He's like, yeah, you qualify for the big one at the end, you know, in December. I was like, oh, okay. I thought I was out. Okay, it's fine. You know, so let me go to YouTube. You know, so then this is where, for that, this was around June. So from June up until December, you know, I was just
student of
just
the game.
Rocky training music in the background.
Yeah, I was just watching. My PS3 was just filled with tournament footage. You know, was just filled with matches of international players. And funny enough, I started with the small documentaries, you know, about esports, and I was like so intrigued, like shit, there's actually a big scene for gaming, you know. Then I saw the Evo Moment 32. I was like, fuck, damn.
37. It's like, forgive us, Justin and Daga.
Evo Moment 37. You know, and when I saw that the first time, you know, I was so like, I could relate to what he said, because there's some of the stuff I've done in the arcades. I'm like, can I ever repeat that? You know? And when he did it, I was like, then like I just felt like, how like I could just put myself in that moment. Yeah. You know. But yes, I started now watching all these documentaries, all these games, and I was just now watching tournament footage of Street Fighter, like the whole way, just watching matches and so forth. So I just knew, okay, this is why they did this. And I was listening to the commentators a lot.
So at this point, you're already locked in that Street Fighter's the game, right?
Yeah. Okay. I was locked in with fighting games, but now Street Fighter, this is where I was now like leaning into Street Fighter a lot more.
Okay.
You know. So now I was like, okay, now. And this is like at the end of season 2. I'm just watching and I'm practicing on the older version of the game, the 2021 game, Capcom vs. SNK. And then from there, when I went into the arena fight nights, you know, I was like, okay, my character's Gal, because I was looking at characters. I was like, okay, obviously I can't practice Karen because Karen is not in the older game. Gal is there. That motherfucker still has the same 2 moves as he did back then. So nothing's changed. All I need to do, chuck, boom, jump, flash kick. Yeah. It's like, okay, I'm going in with that. I was bodying the first 3 games. I bodied them. Just chuck, booms, flash kick. Get him to the corner, throw loop. Okay. Bait out the DP. Oh, he DP'd. I don't know the combos. Flash kick.
Just put some damage on, right?
Then I played Billy's brother, Wiseman with Bison. You know.
Oh, Wiseman, dude. Yes, these eyes.
What's this? I think he beat me. I can't remember the score, but I know I got some games. But he beat me. You know, but I still qualified for top 16 losers, and I played. And I was playing Cammy and who's this? Cammy and Gal. Yeah. You know, so then Gal didn't work. I was like, okay, let me play Cammy. I knew nothing about matchups at that time or the system mechanic. Plus on block, I knew nothing about that. I'm just playing straight fundamentals. You jump, DP. You know, okay, you whiff, I whiff punish. You know, that part I knew, and I was really good at it. Now I was playing as a guy, his name was Psycho Bomb. Yes. Swagger Bomb or something like that. So Swagger Bomb.
Swagger, yeah.
And he's now playing Tekken, and he played Nash, you know, and we were so close. I remember I was so close.
Nash was a cool character, Flip.
Yeah. And I was like, damn, I was so close in beating these guys, and I don't even own the game, you know. I was like, okay, you know what? It is what it is. you know, that I have to work to get it, to get the console. And that's where, I don't know, I think Luca overheard our conversation. I can't remember the exact same thing, you know, but yeah, we had like a conversation about how I prepared, you know, and I remember Luca being shocked, like, wait, hold on, you were watching YouTube and you just came in here and you made top 16? You know, it's like, okay, you know what, from the new year, you're going to come this side, you're going to start practicing on our consoles, you know. And that from there, I was like, okay, perfect. I took all my buddies.
It was a machine, bro.
I took my little brother and the two buddies would come there and we'd sometimes play online, you know. We play online, we practice the combos, you know. I was like, okay, now I'm starting to understand the game a bit, you know. And I think 3 months after that, I got a job, you know, my first job. You know, as I said, I was a late bloomer. So my first job, I got it like 23, 24.
You were studying a little bit as well, though.
Yeah, I was studying. And 23, 24, I got my first job, if not 25. I think 24. 23, 24, I got my first job. And I wasn't paying much. I was just paying like $5,000. You know, I was like, okay. The first thing I did, you know, it's funny enough, I bought a plasma TV because obviously we had this old box. And I was playing the PS2 on it. First thing I did, I got the plasma TV. And I bought plasma TV and the game. The game was on sale. Ne? I don't have a PS4, but I have now the game. I got the PS4. And I wonder where's the cover, you know, and it was just sitting there. I'm like, okay, next month I'm getting the PS4, but the PS4 is like $7,000. You know, like, shit. Okay, I've got the plasma TV. I've got the game Street Fighter 5. I don't have the controllers. It's time to go to the black market. So got into some WhatsApp groups who's selling a PS4. One Indian guy was selling it for 3.5. Met him at town in Josie. He gave me the PS4. I gave him the 3.5. And I was just like, you know what? Even if it doesn't work that well, I'll go and fix it. It's fine. But I don't have the patience to save for 2 more months for that brand new one.
Yeah.
And that PS4 was in good working condition.
Awesome.
It lasted me for about 4 to 5 years before I sold it. And the person who bought it, it's still working to this day.
Salute to the guy who sold Jabhi that console. You creating a world champion.
So I only had the Street Fighter. I only had Street Fighter 5, and then I had to now get PS Plus and so forth. You know. But the internet was also not good because I was like, I was still staying in Alex, you know, so we didn't have fiber then. I was using LTE. And, those days were the ones. Hey, man, guys complaining about your connection. Hey,
Wi-Fi, bro. Now you see a Wi-Fi guy you just remove.
To be
quit.
fair, I was not on Wi-Fi. There was a cable going straight to the PC. It's just, it is LTE.
Yeah.
1 minute it works, next minute it doesn't. If it rains, GG's. You know? But yeah, I mean, for the most part, it worked.
Okay.
I was able to play the guys online. I was getting destroyed. You know? I was getting destroyed, but I landed on Karen. And now this is when each time I watched the guys...
you used to watch a lot of punk, right?
I started with watching a lot of Tokido.
Okay.
You know, especially when you won EVO 2017... You know, I was so impressed. And every time he hit someone with the Raging Demon, I'd lose my mind. And then I started watching a lot of Nakodu.
Okay.
You know, Nakodu. And now I find out he's my boy now, you know.
Do dang.
So I was watching a lot of Nakodu's matches because he was playing Gao.
Yeah.
You know? And at first, you know, also I was coming out of the township mindset, or especially the Spaza sharp mindset of games, of competitive gaming, because... there's something we call chicken, you know. So chicken is when somebody's doing the same move over and over. So we're saying, man, you're playing a chicken. Okay. You know, you're saying you're playing chicken. So now, I'm now going into the competitive scene with that mindset that, you can't do chicken. You know, you can't. And even if
these O's will chicken you all day if you're gonna lose, bro. If you're gonna win from that, like they'll cheese you out, bro.
Exactly. And I would have beaten Level 22 if I didn't have that mindset, because I did fireball. He jumped at DP, and I heard Ragnar in the background. I was like, yeah, keep doing that. Why did you stop? And in my mind, I'm like, why did I stop? It's chicken. So I was like, all right, man, I can't use this, you know. But then I'm watching now the high level play. I'm like, hold on. Nakodu is just doing this and it's allowed.
KFC is allowed.
I'm like, I'm seeing it's allowed. And at first, I did not like that. When I used to see Nakodu, I was like, nah, this guy's, he's not playing the way, he's just relying on this.
Where's your honor?
I was like, where's your honor?
The honor's in my pocket, 250K US.
And I'm like, why? And then I saw TOKIDO. This is how I actually started watching TOKIDO. I saw him, how he got around that. And I was like, okay, I'm relating to this, But at the same time, I was so curious. I'm like, but why is chicken allowed? Then I realized, oh no, anything goes as long as it's within the game. It's within the game.
Yeah.
So then I was slowly coming out of that mindset. I was like, okay, this is how things go.
Do what works.
And then I was like, okay. Then I started liking Nakodu. And then when I started playing Karen, because I was now I'm trying out every other characters. I'm going to Ka. I started maining Mika. And then after
I remember that Mika. Yeah.
Then I landed on Karen. When I picked up Karen, I'm like, yeah, this is the one.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this character is the one. And I started watching Punk. Because at first I hated that character because of losing to Ragnar.
Yeah.
Then I started watching Punk and I was seeing how he's doing all these hit confirms and stuff. I'm like, okay, I want to try this. Started practicing. And then once I could do those, I started now looking at...
Because I think that character just lent to your strengths, right? Like with punish, hit confirm, as you say, like really spoke to those fundamentals that you trained for so many years in the arcade.
Yes. So it was like a natural fit for me, So now when I started now being able to do those things, now I just needed to get into the mindset. So when I went to rewatch all those old tapes, now I'm seeing new things. Oh, he did this because this happened. Okay, he reacted to this because he was expecting this to happen. He created this scenario. So I'm starting to learn about set play. I'm starting to learn about all these things, and I'm starting to incorporate them. But also I had a goal, because in 2018 when I got my console, I was like, okay, I know I'm going to lose because I already understand that I know nothing about the system mechanic.
Yeah,
it's going to take a very long time for me to learn this whole thing. So I had a goal. I'm like, by December, I need to be able to beat everybody in SA consistently.
Yeah. So remember you placed like top 6 at OFN, Arena Fight Nights at the championships in the cage, or top 8?
I was out in top 16.
Really? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, there I was out, and then I think Billy and them were...
Because that was 2018, right? That was 2017, end of 2017, yeah.
2018, nothing really happened, but that was like my training year. Then by the time it was like October, I could already beat people, beat everybody. And now I'm just practicing saving money in that bank, because I'm like, okay, now since I can beat the whole of SA, I'm going to save money for me to travel. And I'll send myself to one of the events,
Because end of 2017 was also kind of, so I mean, just to kind of bring it more to my end, was end of kind of the arena era. So that's when I moved back down to Cape Town, moved back to Cape Town to start at Red Bull. And literally that first like 6 to 7 months was honestly just learning the business, figuring things out. But the first, like always at the back of my mind, was seeing Red Bull Kumite in 2015. The OFN cage was literally a Kumite cage that I built when I was still running my own agency. I was like, bro, the first thing we're doing is a Street Fighter tournament with the goal of getting Kumite here. And again, like, just speaks so perfectly, I think, to your timing was... Training, 2017 first major tournament, got your console after training on arena consoles in the lead up. Now a whole year where you can get prepared, when Red Bull was kind of getting prepared to host a tournament, and then bang, obviously hit the streets kind of reveals itself, And at this point, have you already made the decision that you want to be a pro player, or did that come later after, let's say, the Red Bull hit the streets result that we'll speak about just now? But at this point, were you already, I want to be a professional Street Fighter player by like end of 2018, early 2019?
During 2018, during my now year of training, the whole goal, and the group knew, like I just put it out there, like, me, I'm going to be a pro. I'll find a way out there. If it doesn't work, at least I'll say I'll try. Because my big thing was like, okay, you at least gotta try it and say that, even if it didn't work out, say, at least I tried.
Yeah.
And not just try and like,
try
okay,
properly. Yeah.
Not like try like, okay, I'm gonna try beat I'll try beat Luca at a tournament. If I don't do it, okay, I'm out. I mean, that's nothing, to be honest. Even people were like, okay, I just need to beat Jabhi at a tournament, and then I say and then I'm done. I've made it. No, like beating me is nothing. It's getting the big W's that makes you travel. That's when you're like, okay, you know what? Is this really for me or not?
Yeah.
So during 2018, in my training years, there was I did not even know that Red Bull was gonna do something.
Because that year was dry.
It was.
That
dry
was very much
for
like a
everything.
CS and Dota season. That 2017, 2018, all the R1 million prize pots for Dota and Counter-Strike that happened like year after. And it was just like this surge of overinvestment into esports in South Africa that just kind of, the bubble popped.
Yeah.
And there was nothing.
It's so funny.
afterwards.
Around that time, I was very much into downhill skateboarding. And my friend Dasu, he's the 7th, 8th time national champion. So we used to doing like 60 to 100 k's an hour on a skateboard. And I still remember the one day he won a race and like his prize was like 2,000 Rand, right? And we're just like, what the hell? And then I see on my news, your StarCraft player wins 20,000 Rand for winning. I'm like, bro, what are we doing with our time? We should have stayed inside and played games.
It was like Chase and Panda Tank back then. Yeah.
That's what I was doing there. I was just like practicing, trying out new things. Ended up being able to. I was just dominating now everybody. Then like all my friends. Now my friends don't want to play with me, because they just know it's going to be a domination. Now I'm playing the guys online. I was playing Billy a lot, playing Vince a lot, and I was playing the guys online. 2019 happens, and I think guys Esports host their own tournament for CS, Tekken, FIFA, and Street Fighter. And that's where I met Sokwele, because I didn't know that there's actually someone else who's trying to make it into the esports world,
Yeah.
And so I won that tournament. It was like for 2,000, and that was like the biggest I've ever won at that time.
Cash in the pocket, bro. The first time. It's another not a feeling you get very often, right? That first win, hey?
No. And then I think the following month is where the following month is when the qualifiers for Hit the Streets. Hit the Streets gets announced.
Yes.
Guys are now coming back from retirement. They're coming, and now they're like, okay, now we need to deal with this guy here, who now is dominating.
2 years ago, who was he?
Who they were beating me, and now it's I'm like a threat.
It's the Jabhi show, bro.
And people are already predicting, finals is going to be Sean Carrington versus Jabhi. It's who's going to take it, and I'm just preparing for everybody at this point, And at that time, I think what was happening, I was actually getting retrenched from my work, because we had lost a big contract, to a competitor, and then finding out that competitor gives me an offer to come work for them, So I had a nice chat with my boss or my former employee to say, hey, you know what, the competitor gave me an offer. I'm taking it, but he was chill. My former employee was like, you know what? Here's what we'll do. I'm gonna do a little fake pay slip for you, so that these guys pay you way more than what you're getting. Here,
What a legend, dude!
And he did that. I handed
That's
it over.
awesome.
I handed it over, and I'm handing the fake pay slip over. And I'm shaking like, hey, this is fraud here. I'm shaking. They're like, okay, cool. Yeah, I give it to them. They're like, okay, cool. And we'll just add this by like $1,000 or $2,000. I was like, wow, what is this? Am I? Hey.
Thank you, boss.
In my mind, I'm like, okay, that means more money for me to save for my travel. So by that time, I think when Hit the Streets hit, and I was like, okay, you know what? This is my big chance. And everybody's thinking the same thing. It's the big break, we've been practicing with no opportunities. Finally, an opportunity comes, I remember going to Home Affairs, applying for my passport around October. I don't even know if I'm going to make it or not, but I'm like, hey. And then we get the passport comes. Now it's time to put in the work. First match, and this was in Cape Town. It actually was like my first flight going to Cape Town.
Funny thing, because remember, you won the qualifier at Rush. Funny enough, again at Rush of all places.
Yeah.
And it was all on the back of the EV, bro. So we were hosting all these tournaments on the Red Bull event vehicles. So it's just like a customized Land Rover. And it was the old Red Bull Maddie. So it was like the old build as well. But it just looked like that's a car that's perfect for Street Fighter. You know, it's on the street, like you're playing on the screen.
We gotta put a picture on the.
Oh
pod.
yeah, I actually got like a classic shot with all the original top 8, the boys all standing around the car. It's like such a cool
The
throwback
younger
every now and
version
then.
of me there.
And all the Hart was like the only one with a fight stick, you know, everyone else on controller.
But it was a cool experience.
Yeah,
'cause
and
at
winning you that
time-
then got you your first trip to Cape Town, your first flight ever to the mother city, yeah.
Yeah, I remember because it's like my gran was like, damn, you know what? There were so many times that they were telling me to stop playing games. Now my gran was like, hey, who would have thought? We've been telling this guy to stop playing games, and now he's going on a flight and we not. My gran always said stuff like that.
Dude, Gran's a legend. She was even at the Kumite tournament as well. So yeah, so special. Big supporter.
Yeah. So now I'm heading to Cape Town. I'm on the same flight as Billy and them, you know. And we're like, damn. Every time, like every 2 seconds, we're like, who would have thought? That's all we're saying. Like, who would have thought? You're just going to Cape Town, but still, it's like, who would have thought? I think it was also Billy's first time also heading into Cape Town.
Yeah.
Even Vince. It was like our first time going to Cape Town. We get there, it's like, damn.
Those are picked up by a shuttle.
Yeah.
Get taken to like a hotel.
You know, things are looking good.
Practicing in the Red Bull music studio.
Oh, yes. This is when Gachikun was there as well.
Yes, bro.
You know, and I remember playing Gachikun, and I think he beat me 5-3. But even that, people were like were impressed. Like, yo, you went 5-3 against this guy? You know, and that's when like me and my relationship with Gachikun really kicked off, you know.
Yeah, because you met him, because we did a little tour with him, actually, a little throwback, Dre. You might have seen Gachikun Discovers. So it's a really cool little documentary that the Red Bull Japan gaming team put together, where Gachi came down to South Africa, like really got a feeling for the Kasia as well, like met some of the homies, Tweedy in his little gaming setup that he had there in the township as well. Like, bro, it was super, super, how can I say, not informal is like the bad choice of words here, but it's so like personal. You know, the guys were literally in the smallest little space doing whatever they can.
You mind if I get the tissue? My eyes will start burning.
Yeah, no
perfect,
problem.
perfect.
We'll take a quick break.
Yeah.
You guys can banter on. I'll just quickly grab that.
Perfect. So yeah, I mean, thinking of that Gachikun Discovers episode, you meeting him up in Joburg, and then obviously flying down to Cape Town, and him being there, you being able to train against him, and then him kind of being like, from that moment you guys shared up in Joburg at Nexus Hub, like he kind of placed himself as a little bit of a mentor towards you, I would say, like within the game, like really tried to be a voice of, if you want to say like how can I say, like your devil's advocate, like really making sure he showed you what can go wrong and like what not to do in the game, and the mistakes that we were making from like a local player base, how we can try and almost fast forward your progression to make sure that when you do actually, you know, get to Japan, if that's the case, if you win, you're a little bit more prepared for what you're going to face there. Because as you said earlier, you can be the best in South Africa, beat Jabhi Mabuza, but when you're going into that all-star scenario at Capcom Cup or at Evo, it's another world entirely. Yeah.
No, for sure. And sorry, give me a second.
Yeah, no, sort that out.
I was like right over there. There's a toilet roll. I'm like, I'm not giving this man a toilet roll.
Yeah, my eyes tend to burn from time to time, especially when something hits in.
No stress, bro.
Yeah, flip. I mean, on a side note, I just went for an eye test and I had to get glasses, and they did all these crazy tests. Like I just had to sit in front of all these different machines, and then they're like, "No, your eyes are perfect, but your lenses are smudged from rubbing your eyes." So yeah. So they basically told me never rub your eyes. So that's news to me.
Yeah, not too hard.
Not too hard.
Like, was he like grinding his eyeball there?
Yeah, bro, I'm just like punching myself in the face.
Yeah, no, mine is like, they're so sensitive. Like the tiniest thing goes in, they start now burning up.
It's that monitor, bro. You zoned in right there on every single little frame.
Not blinking.
Yeah.
No, it's weird because even if I go into like another country, like if I go into the US, it's like a different kind of air.
Yeah.
And my eyes start burning for that first few minutes. You know, they start burning and then they're fine.
Okay. Acclimatize. Well, back to hit the streets now. You've qualified in Joburg. You met Gachikun. You're now heading to Cape Town. You and the boys are on the plane now. Your first flight together. The homies are kind of working themselves up a little bit now. This is the big moment that you said you've all been waiting for, right? Like, so what is the emotion, the mindset, like what preparation went into that from your qualifier victory to now coming to Cape Town for Red Bull Hit the Streets final? I mean, what was the feeling, bro? What were you going through, really?
I mean, to be honest, certain things like I'm supposed to be super excited, but then all of a sudden I just became numb.
Okay.
Like I just stopped being excited, just became numb. And for the guys, everybody, like I was like, okay, I could face anyone at any time. So I had, I had notes on everybody, you see. I think Sunny was like the only one who I had the most little notes because he didn't play that much. But everybody else, I had like notes. And after playing Gachikun, because that was also an eye opener because when you watch the guys online and then you play them in person, it's too different. You're like, no, I can beat this guy. Then he beats you. You're like, okay, hold on. This guy is way stronger than what the other guys make him seem, when they play at the international level.
Because he just came off of being the world champion as well that year. 2018, right? World champ Gachikun was here in South Africa.
Now, going into Hit the Streets, my first match I was going against Crazy Kanchak. I knew that, okay, now I'm understanding matchups a bit more. So I knew that Mika Balrog is very good. It's very good for Mika. So I beat him. A very quick game. I was like, we were playing first to two. It was first to two in the top 8, and then until like winners finals.
Yeah, it was best of 3 all the way up till the final. Yeah, and funny enough, the final was like your most dominant performance. Weirdly enough, in terms of just pure results, you were like 2-1, 2-0, 2-1, 2-1, and then final 3-0 against Sunny. Like just poison, just as our boy, how do I forget his name? Our MC Sandile, you were whipping him, bro. I'll never forget that on the microphone.
Yeah, but the most challenging match was Billy because I was panicking in that match. I was just seeing the ticket to go to Japan leaving me. I'm like, if I go to losers, I don't think I can come back, And I'm making silly mistakes.
What was that character that he played with?
Zeku.
But then he also played with that like South American dude with the dreads.
Who, Nakali?
Nakali.
Oh, yeah, but he didn't pick Nakali against me because Nakali Karen was not good. So when he played, he played Zeku, and you know what? All he had to do was just run super. It was going to chip me out.
Yeah.
What he did, he jumped. And I'm very good at anti-airing. When he jumped, like, the ticket to Japan was leaving. And then as he's in the air, I just saw the ticket coming back. I'm like, and then it was like a slow motion. And I was like, he just, why? I'm like, everything was in his favor. And I was like, why? So when I anti-aired them, I knew it was done.
Yeah.
I knew it was like I was just now playing with one hand and the ticket is here. I just knew that, okay, I'm not losing now.
And then after Billy's probably held that like since 2019. Right?
I always ask, he knows that because I always used to ask him like, why did you jump? You know that I'm very good at anti, especially at that range. Why did you jump? And he'll just say, I don't know, man. But yeah, when he jumped, I just knew that, okay, now you're not getting around. And now my mindset is back. It's almost like, when your soul is leaving your body, then it's back. I'm like, okay, now I'm back. Okay, I ended up winning 2-1. Get to winners finals. Now I'm playing Sean Carrington. I was like, okay, let me play Mika. He doesn't like the Mika matchup, but then he hated Karen even more. I'm like, okay, it's fine. If I lose with Mika, I'll just go Karen. Played Mika. He had a nice strategy for Mika, so I went to Karen. I ended up winning 2-1. Now I'm in winner's side grand finals. I just knew that there's no way I'm losing at first to 3. And then when it was Sunny, Sunny was making on the side. He was talking to Sean about dealing with Karen. Then he saw me pick poison during the stage. And then he was like, man, congratulations. He just knew that he knows nothing about the character. The character was she was only like a month or 2 old.
Yeah, she was new.
And I was like the only one playing her.
Yeah, I still remember even when you went into Japan, to kind of fast forwarding, we'll bring it back, just how people were actually coming to you, even then already for a little bit of matchup knowledge on a character, because you were like quite defined in poison in comparison to the overall scene at that point. But yeah, going back to the Sunny match. Yeah.
So I mean, when he saw me pick poison, he knows I can risk it. That's the thing, is because I was in winner's side grand finals. You have to reset in the first to 3. You don't know the matchup. Even if you do beat me 1-2 games, I'm switching to Karen. You have to deal with her for 4 games.
Yeah.
I just need to win 3. But when he saw Poison, he just gave me the handshake. Before the match started, he gave me the handshake. He's like, enjoy your trip. And when it happened with the last one, even that pop off where it happened, I was like, why did I pop off? I was just like, when a lot of things are just happening, you pop off, but you're like, oh, why did I pop off?
Oh,
now
bro.
you don't know.
That's the one time you can, bro.
Yeah, but just like so many things are happening, and you're like, oh, is it really happening?
Yeah.
Is it really? Am I really going to Japan? It's like I'm really going to travel. Then I'm like, and I've saved so much money because I was like, I had like around 35K in the bank just to save on traveling to go. And I was
well done,
really,
bro. I can't save that well today.
Today, no. But back then, it was just me and me alone. I was not a breadwinner. Now I'm a breadwinner and things change, But then I had like 35K, and I was gonna blow it. As if saving, I wanted to get at least 60K, and I was gonna blow it, all of it on one travel, to try and qualify for Capcom Cup via a pro tour event,
Yeah.
But then now I'm going to Japan with Ripple, all expenses paid trip. I'm looking back in the back balance. I'm like, I think I'm going to get a PS5. And that's what I did. I got a. So when that happened, obviously, me and Gaji-kun was like, hey, he spoke to me about the Billy match. He's like, what was happening? Pressure. He can't see me. That's what he says. Like, pressure.
Yeah.
I'm like, I was afraid. He's like, yeah. He saw, We had then from there, obviously, our relationship built. He started now advising me more on certain things.
Yeah.
About matchups, especially because after, obviously, when I went to Japan, we spoke a bit. He was like, no, he explained to me that you just need a bit more experience because it's a lot different from where you're used to playing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the caliber of player that you're dealing with there, especially in Japan. I mean, of all the places that had to be your first trip.
Right? It's the best training dojo, basically, because you've got the best players in the world in Japan.
100%. I mean, the one I would say, like, touching on that trip and kind of the highlight moments. I mean, for me, being like a project manager, gaming event specialist, that's like my passion at the time, was walking into that LCQ, seeing like 64 plus PS4 consoles. Yeah, it was PS4 at the time. PS4 consoles, rows and rows of tables, 256 athletes being catered for over one day. Like, for me, that was just like so sick. And that just like instantly energized me with like, okay, cool. What can we do back home to eventually get to this position, right? In your case, I would say, at least from that moment that I saw your face when I'm like, hey, bro, I got a little treat for you. Follow me upstairs.
Oh, yeah.
Open the door, and the homie gets invited into the top 8. Yeah, that's top 8 training room. Bro. Top 16, top 15, because you were playing for the 16th spot, right?
Yes.
So into the training room where only the top 15 pre-qualified / invited players were allowed in. So there's Punk, Daigo, Bonchan, was Idom there that year?
No,
Fujimura was there. I mean, flip, bro. The best players in Street Fighter 5 you could imagine.
That was like
Jabhi's like, what? He gets to sit down there as long as he wants and just play against the best guys in the world. I'm there with my camera, like, supposed to be doing like media for the team back home, and I'm fanboying harder than he is, bro. Like, he's sitting next to Daigo. I'm like, oh my god, this is so fucking cool. So I mean, from that trip, obviously you went on in the LCQ. I remember you actually played against a Ryu player in your second game.
Yeah.
And again, it's like, it was so obvious to me that it was just experience.
Yeah.
The pressure in that moment as well. Like, suddenly you're on stage and you're the first your first match is against like the best Alex. He's moved to Japan, a French player. What was his name again?
He's Gunfight.
Gunfight, yeah. So I mean, like, massive stakes for his first game. They put him on stage. Like, it couldn't be more beautiful in terms of like the moment, but what a lot of pressure to deal with for your first major tournament overseas. I mean, what did you take back from Japan? Like, obviously the playing experience, leveling up your gameplay, but obviously opening up your world completely. Like, you're not just playing Street Fighter back home in Alex anymore, dude. You're in Japan now. Where did your mind go from there in terms of your like aspirations as a player?
thereafter, because after you lose, it's like a big wake up call. Just like life was like winding up that big five, and then after you lose, like bam, I told you so. That was what happened, and it's like now at first it was exciting, and then after when the whole tournament ends, you're on your flight back home. You're like, can I really do this? Then you start getting those feelings like, oh man, I think I should just give up. Because these guys are way ahead of me. That's what you think at first. But hey, me. There's one thing that I took from my family is being stubborn. I'm very stubborn, and I was like, but I can't come this far just to give up, I just need to win. Hopefully next year there's hit the streets, and hopefully, I can win that and come back. I can use this whole year to train, so 2020
Vegas.
Use the whole year to train, only for Luca and them to tell you, okay, sorry, you're not going anywhere. COVID hit.
That was such a bummer, bro.
I was supposed to go to the UK.
London would have been really cool, bro.
Then it's like, you can't go. Then we're back now trying to qualify. Oh no! Then Capcom announces the Capcom Pro Tour for South Africa. I'm like, okay, perfect. Now I get to go to Capcom Cup. Perfect, because that's what I was saving for, Okay, and then I play a while, but in pools I go to losers quite early, and that's obviously a big hit, I'm like, come on. Then like my dream to go to Capcom Cup and do well there, all of a sudden now it's getting shattered in pools. Okay, play the whole, and this is 2021, play pools. I play very well up until the finals. I play against Billy. I reset the bracket, and then after, I just crumble from there. Now Billy's going to Capcom Cup and not me. The guy who I beat every day is going and not me.
This is like his revenge moment from the qualifier with the streets. And he's been waiting 2 years for this.
and the funny thing is, I have to now bring myself together quick, because the following month I got hit the streets again. Okay, managed to do that and hit the streets, a dominant performance again. I'm going to Vegas. It's like the dominant performance I should have had in Capcom Cup, but then I'm going to Vegas now. Vegas was a bit also an improvement. I won a couple of games, but I lost to the known players, and I lost to also a Ryu player again, coming back. But this time I was like, okay, you know what? There's a lot of things I'm getting the hang of this thing. I'm getting the hang of playing at a high level. Capcom announces the second year for...
Never forget that crazy story of sorting out your visa for that trip
we had
to
go
Vegas.
to Swaziland now, hey.
I think I told you that story as well.
Because all the embassies, because it was COVID time, all the embassies in SAs were closed. Swaziland's the only one that's open. Get to Swaziland. Tools is nowhere to be found.
I remember calling to Lani, bro. We've lost this guy now. They need to go pick up their visas that they've spent like 8 hours driving for.
We haven't even got into the interview. Yeah, we get there. Okay, to be fair, it was the first time for me going for a visa. The one for Japan, Red Bull did it quickly.
Yeah, that was easy.
It was done in about 3 days.
Yeah, so
now
quick,
I have to go in. It's the first time I'm applying for a visa. I get there. They're like, you have to pay 2.5. I'm like, hey, Luca, they say we have to pay. Luca's like, yeah. What do you expect? I'm like, what do you mean? What do I expect? I don't know. Okay, luckily, I'm like, do you do card? They're like, no, cash. Oh, shit. Tools nowhere to be found. Me and Dax now have to walk to the mall and we're like, oh, we're going to miss our appointment. We walk to the mall. Luckily, our banks are opened in Swaziland, so we can just draw. We drew money, find tools at the mall, Okay, come back. We're doing our visa. And you know what? I always tell the story to guys there. It was also one of the funniest things happened because before I go in, there's like 3 guys. No, there was one
for Dax,
one Muslim couple. It wasn't Muslim. It was like it was a mom and the son, and the mom wanted to go to US to visit her daughter, and they were like, okay, but where's the invite? She didn't have. The guy didn't even take 2 seconds. I come back with papers. Failed. Got it. Then there was a Nigerian kid there who he was behind me, but now he wanted to be in front and finish. I was like, okay, no, it's fine. I have to now listen to the whole thing. So they're like, okay, where are you going? Small town in Chicago. The guy looks. He was looking at her side. Then he looks at the guy. He's like, "Okay, where are you going? Small town in Chicago. Who in Chicago you gonna see? No, some lady. Fail. Come back with papers.
Yeah,
I'm like,
straight,
damn.
bro.
Okay, no, I know. Now comes me. And Dax now. So Dax calls me over. Like he said, no, I'm rolling with this guy. We're going together. We're sent by Red Bull. So the guy who's doing the interview calls me over.
You had letters and all these
me
things.
and Dax are submitting at the same time. If any one of ours is off, we're both not going. Okay, cool. We sees our stories align. He's like, okay, guys,
Good paperwork. Good paperwork.
He's like, guys, come get your visas tomorrow. As we're about to leave, like we took one step, we looked at each other, we looked at the guy, we're like, yeah, that's not possible. He's like, what do you mean? But like we thought we were gonna get it today, and we're only here for one day. We're not passing that border without our passports. The guy's like, okay, you know what? Come back in 3 hours.
Sorted,
We went to the mall. We had some chow. We came back in 3 hours. Got my visa in 3 hours. Gone.
10-year visa mid-COVID. Yeah, good deal, bro.
Damn.
Yeah.
But so we headed to Vegas.
Hey, that Red Bull logo gets things done, bro.
It sure did. We had everything, the context. Even when it got to the border, but by customs in the US. That paperwork was talking for me, not for Dax.
Yeah, shame. Like the one guy is obviously he's Muslim, so now it's like extra difficult for him at the US airport. Bro. Poor guy, bro.
I'm rolling with Dax. We get to the customs, and okay, they're questioning me. Cool. You're looking at the paperwork. You're here for gaming. I'm like, yeah. Now I have to explain the whole thing about gaming. I look on the left. I look on the right. Dax is nowhere to be found. I'm like, where in the world did this guy go, Okay, I go through. Now I'm asking the cops here. I'm like, have you seen the guy I was walking with? He's Muslim, 1, 2, 3. Okay, the lady is like, nope, haven't seen him. The black guy is like, hold on. I'll be back now. He goes to like a room, and I'm looking, I can just see it's like a dark room. He comes back, they got him. I'm like, okay, when is he gonna come out?
He's getting interrogated.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, how long is he gonna be in there? Because we need to board now in the next 15 minutes. He's like, no, it should be soon, next 5 minutes. I'm like, yeah, 5 minutes ain't good enough because we need to board in 15 minutes, and we still need to take the train to the other side.
Yeah, massive airports.
So I'm like, I can vouch for this guy. I'm busy talking to the cop. I'm like, I can vouch for this guy, Okay, I know he doesn't budge. But then luckily, okay, the open up, I just see a whole bunch of people popping out there. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Okay, cool. Me and Dex start running.
Just getting patted down full, bro.
We end up luckily we ended up getting our flight. Get to the hotel. It was a nice experience because this time we came there 3 days before the event.
Yeah.
So I was practicing.
You met Logan, the old head of sports from South Africa.
That's where I also met Mena for the first time.
Yes.
And me and Mena, Mena was he was like, okay, you know what? I can train you for the RCQ. So I was actually at his room, him and Kaba's room, quite a lot.
Nice. Okay.
Playing quite. That's how I got more accustomed to Mena.
Yes. Yes.
So coming back to SA, Hit the Streets announced another year, and Capcom Pro Tour announces another year. But Hit the Streets now there's just money. So I'm like, no travel, but oh well, it's still fine. Capcom Pro Tour happens. This is for 2022. Yeah, 2022 now. Get into winner's side. I lose again to Billy 3-0. I was trying out a new character. Now I'm going into losers, and I play Vince, and Vince came up with a specific technique or a specific strategy for me and my character, which in the first two I could have lost, but because those first 3, I had one more game to adapt, and in my mind I was just saying like this. I had no doubts about losing. In my mind I was like, I'm not gonna lose this. I'm going to win. What he's doing, I started understanding. When I came back 3-2, I knew that Billy is not touching me then.
Yeah.
And then I reset the bracket 3-1, and then I beat him in the grand finals 3-0. I was just like, fuck, I'm going to Capcom Cup.
Amazing.
And it's in the US. I've already got my visa, my 10-year visa. Everything is just lining up. Hit the Streets happened later that year. You know, I win that as well. I'm just like, oh, this is a good year for me. You know.
Yeah, no, you essentially at this point you are almost untouchable locally. You've really become like the target for everyone, and I think that's multiple trips overseas. Obviously, the kind of expectation you've put on yourself in terms of the level you need to be for the international scene just put you so far ahead of the local scene, obviously. So now this is the big moment. You know, you've qualified through Hit the Streets for Kumite a few times now, but now it's the granddaddy. It's Capcom Cup. You head on over to the US and you put into a group with what is it? Punk, VX Bow, Valmaster, like a pretty ridiculous group to jump into. So I mean, what is your thought process going into that? Are you going there to win? Is that what you're feeling, or is it I'm going there to do as well as I can and just learn as much as I can once again at that level?
I never go into a tournament saying I'm going to do well. I promise you, I never do that. You know, it doesn't matter what tournament it is. I'm always going for the W. You know, I'm always thinking about winning the whole thing. You know, awesome. I just feel it's a bit. If you go to a tournament thinking I just want to do well, I don't think I'm going to win it. You might as well just not even go at all. You know, that's just how I look at it.
I like that, bro.
So when I went in, and funny enough, Punk was the one I wanted to play the most because obviously he was my favorite player in Street Fighter 5, and he played Karen, and at that time he moved to Luke. Yeah. First game I played VX Bow, and honestly, I lost all my games, but I played very well. Besides for 2, you know, and the 2 was a matchup knowledge thing. You know, so I played VX Bow, and it went last game was 1-1. It went last game, last round, and I dropped the combo. You know, it was just one of those things. Hey, it happened a lot in Street Fighter 5. I dropped the combo. He ends up making it through. Yeah, and a lot of people were like, "Man, how did you lose that one?" Yeah. See, second game, I'm playing against Brandon from Singapore. You know, again, this one, I don't even know if you're going to say it's my fault. I did the correct read, so it loose V-trigger 1. He threw a lot of fireballs. Yeah. I made the correct read. I jumped. He did his V-trigger 1 and started throwing the fireballs. I landed on him, and the last fireball hit me, and I died. You know, the last fire, I remember even the stream was like, no, how do you... It's like the worst way to lose. Making the right read, and just something happens. The last and not even like it was the last tip of the fireball. The hitbox hit me, and I had so little health.
God, Luke was busted in that final season of Street Fighter 5.
You know, and I was playing the matchup very well. Then I played Valmaster. Chun-Li, I was not really good in the matchup because I didn't know how to play against the character. You know, we had 0 Chun-Li.
Yeah, no one here played Chun. You know, I mean, even now, if I think about it, Street Fighter 6, we don't really have any Chuns, really.
No, we do. We have 2, actually.
Will, hey? Does he still play?
Yeah, Will plays, and there's another guy online who I regularly meet. He calls himself Jay Lee. Okay. You know, that's who I meet a lot of. So Chun-Li, there's quite a few.
So, I mean, thinking about it, Street Fighter 5 now, kind of that's at the time where it's coming to the end of the Street Fighter season. That last Capcom Cup was like the last big one for the game. And obviously now heading into Street Fighter 6, just a quick one. If you had to throw yourself back to Street Fighter 5 a little bit, and obviously Karine, of course you miss her, but is there anything else from Street Fighter 5 that you do miss that you wish found its way into Street Fighter 6? No. Nothing, eh? You're loving Street Fighter 6 the way it is.
I'm one of those that accept the game for what it is. Okay. You know, so I never had an issue with transitioning from 5 to 6. Okay. You know, or from older games that I used to play into 5, because I took the games for what it is. You know, a lot of guys want certain mechanics back. I would say that, okay, the footsies one, I miss a bit, but I'm not too big on it. I'm just like, oh, okay. 6 is here, and this is how 6 plays, and I just play the game for what it is. Okay. You know,
you just want Karine. That's it.
That was my character. You know. But I'm chilled with Terry. You see, just one more character to cover. You know, to have 2 characters. You know, Terry and someone else.
Cover the matchups.
And I'm done for the rest of Street Fighter 6.
Amazing. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, the match that I played with Punk was really good. Like I really played well there because that was straight foots, his fundamentals, hit confirms. You could see the both of us when we played. The crouch medium kicks blocked. You could just feel that any one of these from any player hits, it's going into
Full conversion.
It's going to a conversion of the single hit because he's well known for that hit confirming it. And I was also in SA, I was well known for that.
Yeah,
but
I mean, you were kind of basing a lot of your play on Punk, right? You were watching him a lot, and you liked the way he played. So it was almost like you were in a bit of a mirror match there.
Yeah. And he was playing Luke, and and now I'm playing his old character, and it got so close. Like I think he beat me 2-1, but I was really happy with the performance.
Okay.
I wasn't happy with the score, but I was happy with the performance.
Yeah.
So then coming back to SA, I was just like, no, I've got this. It's not. I just looked at it like, okay, I've got this. It's just certain things I need to change, but I really have this. And this is where now we jump into Kumite.
Yeah, fast forward now, it's Kumite, South Africa. Yeah.
Yeah, I get invited to Kumite. Obviously, now I'm losing my mind. Like, damn, I'm going into the cage now. At the same time, you're like, okay, I don't want to go out first game. So I'm asking, and I remember, it's funny enough because I was asking the guys in SA for some games. I remember people were avoiding me. It's like, I'm like, guys, Kumite is coming up. I need some games.
Yeah. New game as well.
Yeah, but guys, obviously, it's those who... They just didn't want to get bodied.
Yeah.
Most of them just didn't want to get bodied. And I was like, I need to learn. I need to play the game a bit more. I need to learn it at a high level. I need to learn as much as I can. Guys were avoiding me. I was like, okay, you know what? It is what it is. Okay, luckily there was the practice room, so I was playing with the pros a lot. And I played TOKIDO in the practice room, and he beat me 3-1. But every guy that I played, I felt it was close. Even when I was playing Kakuru there, in the practice room, I was like, you know what? It's just that I don't know how to. Yeah. I don't know the matchup that well, For Ken, I was like, the game itself, I was just not there yet.
Well, I mean, let me actually frame this. So, I mean, Dre and I were actually in the crowd that day as well.
My word!
What a special moment. So, I mean, here we are coming to one of the greatest, and I'll argue maybe the greatest moment in South African esports history. So, I mean, we're talking the biggest result in one single match that we've ever experienced locally. That's Jabhi Mabuza beating a god of Street Fighter, still considered one of the best players in the world today, and probably one of the longest standing champions in the history of Street Fighter and multiple fighting games, is TOKIDO from Japan. So that moment happens. You got your Chun-Li. The match is looking really good. Every single time you confirm with any little bit of damage, the crowd is losing their mind. Anything positive happens for you, everyone's standing up and going crazy.
Yeah.
So I don't know what kind of pressure you were dealing with hearing all of that in the background. And then the moment happens. You get your confirmation. You finish the combo with the super. Everyone knows it's going to kill, but you're still like so hesitant in case it doesn't. Everyone's just like waiting to erupt from their seats.
Wasn't it last game, last round as well? It was like super tight.
This one, I think we started going, he got the game. I got a game. It was 2-1, 2-2. And then I went 3-2. Then he went 3-3. So it started as him going 1-1-0, and then 1-1, 2-1 from him, 2-1 and then 2-2 from me, 3-2 from me, 3-3 from him, and then 4-2, then 4-3 from me, and now I'm at set point.
Yeah, at that moment, like I got Peaks from Red Bull sitting next to me. Pico, you might remember Pico as well. Yeah. I got Dre on my left, like with the camera somehow holding this thing still, and bam, the super hits. Everyone knows you've won. The crowd absolutely loses their mind. What is that moment, bro, when you knew you won? What were you feeling? Because honestly, you really kept your calm, bro. You were pretty like stoic. You stood up and you were just like, just embracing this moment. I mean, what was going through your mind, bro?
You know, even going back a bit before, you know, when I obviously they announced, I knew that okay, I was going to come out. I was going to be the first to come out because I was. It's my country.
Yeah.
You know, so the production was like, we're gonna announce you first, and then everybody will come in like that, and you're gonna go and get the ball, and whoever
Yes.
matches your ball is your opponent. So I get the ball. I'm like, okay, cool. As guys are coming out, I'm like, yeah, give me this guy. Like Zen comes out, I'm like, give me Zen. I was doing pretty well against Zen.
Because you were placed in 16. So you would play essentially against number 1 seed, depending on what came out of the ball, right?
Yeah, so basically number 1 plays number 2, like in the with the balls, like balls is done from 1 to 16.
Yes.
15 plays 16, 14 plays 13, like that. So I was like, okay, give me Zen. Zen, pick 15. It's like, damn, okay, it's like problem. I'm not too good, but there's a big chance. Yeah, it's fine, give me a problem. You know, then Big Bird comes, don't give me Marissa. I don't know that matchup. Pick someone else who picks Angry Bird. I'm like, thank God, let them fight each other.
Yeah, what are the
You know,
chances?
Bon Chen comes out, I'm like, maybe not, you know. I'm busy looking, and as a guy, and I'm like, and I whisper to Problem on stage, I'm like, I think I might get Tokido.
Yeah.
You know, then Problem looks back, says, I think it'll be good if you get Tokido, you know, because it's your hometown.
Yeah.
And then he looks at me, like he says, I think it'll be good if you get Tokido. He looks in front. Then he looks at me again, he's like, it'll be actually, if you beat him, it'll be massive for your hometown.
Yeah.
Then he walks down, he picks the ball, he throws it at the camera. The crowd loses it first, while the presenters are like, "Who is it? Who is it?" The crowd already knows. You know, they lose it, and then I think Sam's like, "Oh, Jabhi," you know. And funny enough, because when he came out, the whole crowd was going, Tokido, Tokido. Now he picks the ball, the crowd's like, okay, we can't go up against our own. Jabhi,
Yeah,
you know?
literally.
Yeah. And then after, okay, he comes out, and then Problem looks at me, he's like, oh, your moment is here, you know. So as I'm playing, and, you know, because I was confident in understanding his defensive choices, because if I have say the commentator, he once said, and this is what stuck through to me throughout the whole game. He said people believe Tokido won't let it rip because he's such a great player, but they don't know that he lets it rip more often than usual. Now, I went in. That was like, it kept on ringing in my mind what he said, you know, and he said this on stream when he was doing a match analysis for Tokido's match, and that was kept on playing in my mind. And what also played in my mind is, okay, because it's my hometown, he might try to play me the way he played Punk. And it's a good strategy because what he has, if it's your hometown, he will go aggressive on the offense. Even on defense, he will do the biggest reads, and just to throw you off, because when the crowd is on your side and you are making bad decisions defensively and offensively against him, you are going to be destroyed. Now, I thought to myself, he might play me like that. The first time, in the first game when he got it, I was like, oh, he's doing this. Yeah. And funny enough, when I got there, this is actually where the tables turned, because I did a jab on his wake up, and he did a super, my jab didn't come out. Yeah. So I blocked it. I was like, okay, you know what? My theory is right. As much as this is an incorrect input, I was supposed to get hit by the super.
Yeah.
But now I know that I'm confirming he is trying to play me the way he played Punk. You know, he's going on the all offensive. Then I started blocking all his DPs. I blocked all his supers. I was like, you know what? Since I'm blocking the supers, he's going to go for crouch medium kick. He did crouch on wake up, he did crouch medium kick, DP super, and I blocked it. You know. And then from there, I could just see that, okay, he's cracking a bit because the offense didn't work out, you know. So I was like, let me do the same thing as you did, you know. Let me also go on the offense, but also my perfect parries were just on point.
Yeah, bro.
You know,
He was not getting any drive rush off as well. You were checking it almost every single time.
he did the drive impact when I reacted, because I did it on him, then he did it on me, but I reacted. Yeah. You know, I remember even watching the Japanese stream, rewatching it, they were like, damn, how is this guy reacting to all these things and the parries, you know, perfect parries? And in the last moment, because I wasn't anti-airing and I was letting them slide, because obviously the pressure's there. I'm like, damn, I might beat Tokido. So certain things that I'm just not doing that I'm normally good at, I was just not anti-airing, and I was just like, okay, you know what? I know I'm not anti-airing, but he's gonna jump here, and I'm gonna do a super. He jumped, I did the super. I'm like, no, this gotta kill. So I'm holding the controller, and I'm busy. I'm just glued on the screen, I'm like,
watching
die.
that health
I'm
bar,
like,
bro.
right, and I'm like begging. I'm like, God, please, just this one. If there's divine intervention,
Add
just
50
this
damage.
one time, add that 10%. Let me celebrate, and you can take my win after that. And I was like, okay. Then when it killed, took off the headset, chuck everything. I don't even remember what I was saying because I look at your footage and I see myself hitting my chest, and I'm like overwhelmed with excitement, and there's something I said to the crowd, and I don't know what I said because I'm just banging my chest, I was just like going nuts. Then I look back, I'm like, oh snap, gotta be respectful now. Okay, give him the the
classic bow,
the classic bow, Then back to celebrating, but I can't remember what I said in that moment, Like, okay, cool. Oh, it's still showtime. Put the medal on. Need to head off the stage. Sam pulls me back for an interview. I thought in rehearsals he said only the loser does.
Sorry, not this moment, bro.
thing,
Sam's like, no, you talk to me now.
I was like, okay, cool. Then I see now my grand comes up on stage. My aunt comes up on stage. My little bro comes up on stage. It's like my little bro's like, and then I see Billy and Vince down there in the crowd.
All the
I see all the
bros,
bros are in the crowd. Billy and Vince were in VIP.
Yeah.
How they got down that quick, I have no idea. And there was a shot from one of the radio guys because they were also in VIP and they were doing with their phones. And during the shot, you can see Wiseman and Billy jumping up the stairs, going down, rushing straight down. And I asked Billy about it, and Billy said, Wiseman said, if Jabhi wins this one, I'm drunk, I'm coming straight down. No, so Billy stayed, Vince and Wiseman jumped down.
Yeah.
So now as I'm doing the interviews, I'm like, you know what? I'm looking around, but I'm seeing nobody. Like I've just my mind is still just
it's only in one place, right?
Yeah. So I'm doing the interview. Okay, I'm saying to my grand, it's not over. It's not over. My bro is like, no, it doesn't matter. My aunt's like, doesn't matter. I'm like, yo, it's not over. I still got more matches and stuff. I'm trying to get back into the game.
Yeah, it felt like the end of the tournament that moment. It's just
No, we were freaking out. I mean, I was in tears.
yeah,
It was so emotional.
100%.
And as I give my interview, I'm walking down. I see, Wiseman is on his knees. He gives me the badge for the VIP, and I don't know how he's gonna go back there because now I'm rolling with his badge for VIP. And I see, okay, he gives me a hug. Vince also comes up, gives me a hug. A lot of people now start giving me the words. I heard up. I'm walking out. I'm still thinking. I'm like, damn, did that just happen?
Yeah.
And I go to the backstage, and I just see everybody's waiting for me backstage. They're like, damn, you really did do it. Problems like, man, this moment is gonna be with you forever. But head back into the game.
Yeah.
And I'm now like, okay, I need to head back into the game, but it was so hard because every 2 seconds I had PR on me.
Yeah.
I had PR on me. Like, I'm like, dude, guys, I'm trying to focus. I got the next match,
Yeah.
It'll be insane if I won this, but can I get into it? They're like, PR, can't do an interview, can't do an interview. And then I see Ending Walker's tweet is like, if Jabhi wins the next one, I don't think the stadium's going to survive. Because I had to call security now, because people were breaking out of excitement
and stuff.
Out of them jumping up and down, they're breaking the stands. So now they had to call in security.
It's a rumble in the jungle, bro. It's like Ali versus Foreman. No, what a moment,
Flip, bro. I was so excited and had way too much Red Bull. They had to call an ambulance because I thought I was having a heart attack.
No joke, bro.
No jokes, dude.
Ultimate celebration.
I'm like lying there on the ground thinking I'm dying. I'm like, this is too much.
As long as I got to see Jabhi beat TOKIDO.
Holy crap.
And now we'll go through from there. Obviously, I mean, bro, that doesn't get, you can think of, again, that point of being the biggest moment for a South African game. It's hard to move on from that. But next trip, Capcom Cup 10, $1 million on the line. The first time Street Fighter has $1 million slapped onto that prize pool. You obviously qualified, heading to the event. Would probably say that wasn't you struggled, I think, that event. I don't think it was your best performance. Almost like you felt like you played better probably in the tournament before that, right? Yeah.
No. Actually, I played better than the previous Capcom Cup.
Because it's a different game too.
Yeah, different game. And this time I switched to DJ.
Yeah.
To be honest,
And
there's-
Ren was there with you that year too. Yeah.
the big takeaway that I let, and I was like, okay, I'm never gonna let this happen, is when you get to an event and people talk about there's lag in one side and stuff, then you let that get into your head. Because I rewatched I don't know how many times I rewatched those matches, especially against Duke Kevin, because I made the most crucial reads. I knew that, okay, I'm in burnout. He's not going to go for the stun because it won't kill. He's going to want to throw me. I backdash, put him in the corner. I made the correct reads. And, it was so on point. Even there was time I was like, okay, I should have done this. And even against Kusanagi, it were also matches I was supposed to win. Problem, I knew I was not going to win because I didn't know the Blanca matchup. That was one match I was just like, okay, this one's a matchup thing. I would try my best, but no. And Trevor Styles, he played Chun-Li. I knew he was not touching me with Chun-Li. I played the character, and I played the guy, and I played Will quite a lot. So I had a good strategy for Chun-Li, and I executed that strategy pretty well. I beat Ren. All I needed to do was beat one of the guys. If I had beat Kusanagi and do Kevin, I'd be in top 16.
Yeah.
But I made crucial reads, but also I let, especially against Kusanagi, I let those thoughts of lag get to me.
Lag, $1 million,
Yeah.
just a few things that might distract a man.
And it wasn't, and to be honest, it wasn't really that bad. I just let those thoughts get to me, and it wasn't really that bad. And those are things I changed heading into the
Next season, I think Capcom
next
Cup 11, right? I think maybe some questions that Andre might have for you, because we both watched Capcom Cup 11. I was actually live streaming it as well. Obviously, you got your number 2 on TOKIDO, which, in my opinion, really establishes a person as okay, you're in the top echelons of Street Fighter in the world now. You didn't just get one little lucky break that some people might have been chirping in the background. You've beaten him twice now on the big stage. There's no argument. You belong there. And arguably would say that was your best performance. Capcom Cup 11, you had some incredible matches there. And ones that you lost that I think, Andre and I, when we were watching, we were like, no ways. We 100% thought he was going to win this. No, we were disappointed for the first time, actually disappointed, It's because we had so much belief in you that you were going to win. It wasn't like this, it would be an amazing surprise if he wins. It's like, no, we actually expect him to win this time. That just shows your progression. But going into that game, and maybe you might have a question on that, is on that Bolado match, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, basically, I watched all the matches, and obviously looking what's going on with the pools and everything, and it was the one against Dual Kevin and what's the Bolado guy?
Zangief Bolado.
Zangief Bolado. Which one of those two games do you think you could have won?
both of them.
Both of them.
And to backtrack a bit, my preparation for Capcom Cup this time was different. I took what Gaji-kun was doing, and so Gaji-kun for the league, because in Japan there was quite a lot of, the league was just full with Eds, Akumas, and Bison. He was only playing those matchups. He was not playing any other matchups. He was only playing those matchups. So in the 2 weeks heading to Capcom Cup, I said, okay, I'll take his strategy, and I'll only play these matchups. So I'd invite Sequela for a 1v1, and we play Geef though, and then I go to Vince's place, and I only play the Rashid matchup. Ken, I'd play with Mark, but Ken, I already played with Mark quite a lot, so it's just re-establishing that one. Chooks, I played JP as well. And so going into Capcom Cup, I was very confident, I went with the mindset that if you're not going to win it, don't even bother, So going into the match, I was very confident. I practiced the matchup with Gaji-kun, and it was so close. That was the closest I've gotten, in terms of our set, our casual set. It was last game, last round, 4-4. I was like, okay, this strategy that I've developed for these matchups is pretty good at a high level. The Kens, I smoked all of them at Capcom Cup in casuals. Besides, I never played Angry Bird. But all the other Kens I played, and I was just confident that, okay, my strategy against the Ken matchup is pretty good. So first game was against Hannibal from Germany. So the first time he was going for shimmies a lot, getting me to throw take. The first game he got me to bite, and that's how he won. But what I love specifically about that, he did it once, and then I stopped taking. I was like, you're gonna have to throw me until I lose the whole tournament, but I'm gonna take all these throws. And now he was caught up in the whole hype. Oh, I got him to shimmy. I'm looking good. Nah. I was like, okay, I shimmied. You shimmied me. It worked. Cool. That's not gonna happen again. And the mental fortitude that I had to just sit there and say, okay, I'm not biting here. No, I lost the whole game because I bite. I'm not biting here. And he just kept trying it, while I started now getting familiar. Now I'm getting, because my first game at Capcom Cup, so I wasn't quite settled. Now I'm slowly settling in. I'm anti-airing, I'm making the right reads, end up winning 2-1. I was really proud of that moment, that, okay, I was able to come down quickly in the set, because that's what I was also struggling at a high level, is to really turn that switch off and on. It's like, okay, you know what, this happened, let's lock in, And then going to do Kevin, so this was the first Capcom Cup I played my game the way I wanted to play. I didn't go home, because every Capcom Cup and every big event, whenever I went home questioning my character choice. And now I'm heading into Terry, who's considered to be very weak, and this was the first one afterwards, like, I was just like, okay, I know what to work on with my weak character, So going into do Kevin, I was supposed to win that match, And what happened was I was also making the correct reads. I had a good strategy for him. So one of the things that happened, and I actually lost this round, was I did a throw bait. I shimmied him when I walked in and out, and he thought I was going to throw, and he threw, and it whiffed. And because it happened so quick, my mind was like, okay, you're not going to get the medium punch in time. Try throw him again. And he throw tech, And I was like, okay, snap. I missed this moment. I lost a round, but it's fine. And then there was time where he did a drive rush, and I checked it, but my second button didn't come out. I got a miss input, then I got a special, and he punished me for that, which is fine. I came back. One of them, I wanted to do a big read. And this is what I wanted to do, especially in this Capcom Cup, was actually make the big read and commit to it. Everything that I did, I was committing to it. I did the wake up super. I was like, oh, okay, it missed. I'm going back into it, and I ended up getting the round. And what was happening is in the closing rounds, I was getting a lot of input errors. Yeah, this is because I'm moving a lot. And that was that's the whole strategy I have in that Rashid matchup. I'm moving a lot of in and out. Get him to whiff. And I got him to whiff a stand heavy punch, and I pressed stand heavy kick, but the game read the special input. So it did the flip kick, which is
because you also play on the joystick, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then when
Pretty crazy, right?
when that happened, and it read the crack shoot, he perfect parried it and put me in the corner, off the input, and I was going to get a clean whiff punish, So those things started happening. He did a button on my wake up. I was like, he's not going to throw me. He's going to press a button, wake up parry. I got the perfect parry. I tried to throw him, but that button pushed him back a bit, So a lot of those things were happening.
Yeah, little 50-50s and just missed inputs.
Yeah, missed inputs and like those situations. And then this was bad error on my side. The tornado came out, and I was like, okay, I've checked the tapes. I know he's going to go for the overhead. But because it was so close, I was like, no, let me ignore the overhead and try to walk and parry the tornado, And then the overhead came. I was like, snap. Now I'm thinking about the original game plan, and I was in two minds of like parry quick, and then I missed the tornado by like a small millisecond. Then the overhead hit me. I went into the tornado, and he converted, And then I had to do now a crazy read because of that, because I'm now in a pinch. I had to do a crazy read.
Yeah, in the corner against Rashid.
You see,
tough times.
But if I had stuck to the original game plan, I would have gotten the perfect parry there. I would have gotten rid of the tornado and put him in the corner.
Yeah.
So, but a lot of that game, when I watch it, there's so many things. I got so many counter hits, and the button didn't come out and stuff. And that's because I was like too fast. It's not like there was this time that it was so smooth. I was just too fast because I'm like, oh, I got the hit. I made the read. Too fast to convert. I'm like, okay, I need to slow down a bit. I need to do this. And so that was in that match, And then the Tokido match, this was my strategy was just on point. The Ken matchup, I just knew, and it wasn't living like specific to Tokido. It just happened that his play style goes into my strategy against the matchup, So it was just not looking good for him because I had all the counters for the Ken specific. It wasn't a Tokido, and that's the big thing that I changed in going to Capcom Cup is I'm not doing one specifically for this guy. I'm doing it for this character. And I might add 1 or 2 for this guy.
Okay.
Okay. Zangief Balado was also a tricky one because...
No, that's the one where we were like, he's cooking him. Like, you were playing really well that game, bro.
I was.
Yeah.
Considering,
started off really well. Yeah.
No, actually, considering that I don't know the matchup pretty well. Because Sequela is good, but he's not at that level.
Yeah.
So now I need to learn a high level Zangief on the spot. Like, okay, how this happens. Okay, so the first game, and this is what I actually said to Ryan Hart before the game. I said to Ryan Hart, I hate playing players who've got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Because he was out. When I was facing Pilado, there was no chance of him making it into Capcom Cup.
Yeah.
And the second guy after that is Kakuru, who's already in winner's side top 16.
Yeah.
So
I'm
I'm
like,
like,
think you had Kakuru in your group
I'm
as
like
well, bro.
to Ryan Hart, I hate playing players who have nothing to lose because they're gonna all of a sudden make the right reads.
Yeah.
And that's what he was doing. My DPs, he was blocking. Everybody else's, he was eating. So I was like, okay, reset, go to character select when you got the game. I'm like, I do have a strategy that seemed to work on every Zangief. That was the Fireball game, And so what I was doing is Terry has unique fireballs. He has the low and the medium. The low, it goes under any fireballs and it hits as a low on certain on Zangief. If he does a stand heavy punch, it can't. The low fireball counts as a low.
Okay.
Well, in general, it doesn't. So I don't know why it does that on Zangief, but it worked in my favor. The medium, that now what Zangief player would like to do, they would like to do an overhead over the low. And that's when I mixed it up with the medium. So I was doing medium, low, and was throwing him off.
Okay.
He didn't know how to go about it, so he started now jumping. Now, what was killing me was obviously because I didn't know the matchup a bit. I was a bit antsy on defense, and this is where...
Those Geef headbutts, bro. Yeah.
Yes, the Geef headbutts were throwing me off because I was like, okay, should I take the headbutt and let him SPD me?
So plus.
And stuff, yeah. The last, and the problem is, in the last, and I was playing well. Now, in the last interaction, when he jumped on me, I just didn't DP because I was looking, my drive gauge was coming back. He was in burnout. Now, he knew that if that drive gauge comes back, it's GG's because Terry can loop Geef from half the screen all the way to the corner, drive impact,
punch, overhead, punch, overhead. Yeah.
Now he jumped. I was too fixated on the drive meter that I didn't anti him, and he jumped. He did an SPD. I died.
Yeah.
I was like, damn. Okay. And then now it's like last game, last round. I'm like, snap. Okay, I still need to come back into it, and he played well. He did a good read because I did jump back to avoid the SPD. He did level 1 because he knew I was going to jump back.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, I should have backdash, And then again, he jumped again. I did an anti-air because now I'm thinking about the SPDs and stuff, and I'm looking at the same situation. Drive gauge is coming back, and I've got so little health. And then he chipped me out, So
sometimes a guy just gets into that flow, bro, and just everything goes right.
Bro,
You make the right calls.
I was just like, all these reads. I even asked him after the game. I'm like, bruv, why you eat everybody's DPs
but not
and you
mine.
block mine? And he's like, against you, I was no more nervous. Like,
That's
see, that's
funny,
what I mean about playing guys who've got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Kakuru again. It was the same situation as playing Problems Blanca is because JP, I didn't have a solid strategy. Even when I was playing Chooks and I'm practicing for Kakuru, my strategy was missing a lot of things, Like I could just see the holes even in the practice session. I could see the holes, But even sometimes against Kakru, when I drive rush you the far ball, and I did stand medium kick in the perfect period, and I watched, I'm like, if I was just frame early, it was going to be a clean hit.
Yeah.
I'm like, it just happened he gets a perfect period. Oh, snap. Because I got the first round, I made the certain reads, but I was like, you know what? This character, again, is like a long... First two feels long against JP.
Yeah.
And
one game feels long against him, bro. You're just running into purple stuff the entire
and
time.
my strategy is not 100%. Now I think if I were to play him, it'll be very tough for him.
Had some times with Chucks,
But I mean, watching anyone play Kakru, basically, it just seems such a miserable thing to do. It does not look like fun.
Like the moment you get in, perfect parried.
No, but now I'm at a point where especially in that matchup, like I'm actually I used to hate JP, but now because I've gotten such a solid strategy against JP, that's a matchup like I now enjoy.
Yeah.
I enjoy making those reads like, oh, he's gonna do this, and I'm usually right because most of the time when I'm playing against JP, I set them up. I'm like, oh, you're gonna do this because I know you're gonna do this because I'm setting you up to do this.
Yeah.
So it's just me reacting to this, and I'm pretty much now very comfortable in the matchup, and I really want to play Kakru again.
Okay. Well, I mean, we're going to sort of close things up here with the last little question or last little scenario. It's 2025.
Yeah.
Jabhi's now sitting quite pretty top of the World Warrior rankings in Sub-Saharan Africa. 2 wins out of 2 now in World Warrior. 3rd one coming up end of this month, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm not playing that one.
So he's not playing, and then obviously... Right after that, during that, you're at EWC, if I'm not mistaken, in Riyadh. Yeah?
Yeah.
So that's now EWC coming up, another massive tournament there, huge prize pot. And the most recent news, this guy over here is captaining a team in SFL Europe, the Street Fighter League. He's going in as an El Capitan. I mean, it's official. Jabhi is playing with the big boys now. How does it feel, bro? Like you're at the point now that you've been hunting for the last 5-6 years. You're comfortably in the conversation as a top 36 player in the world. How does it feel, bro?
I mean,
there's not many people in South Africa, if ever, that has been able to say that, dude.
No, not the one of a kind.
Yeah.
to be honest, I'm not. I don't know. Like I feel it's you feel very lucky that you have such opportunities, but I don't really getting them is not really the big part that I'm looking at. To be honest, I'm looking at like converting from that. Like actually
the mindset.
Yeah, not necessarily, but like it's like I don't know. Like I was happy to get the news out.
Yeah,
because I wanted to see everybody's reaction. Like, yo, SA is gonna have a team in SFL Europe. Street Fighter League Europe is going to have an African team. So I just wanted to see the news. I see everybody was like hyped. Now everybody's now looking at the players. They're like, I wonder who's going to take.
Yeah, everyone wants a piece of the pie, bro.
In my mind, I'm also thinking about, you know what? How to go about this the most fit to get the best results, And because now I had to now switch my mindset because now I'm going to put World Warrior aside and just talk about the league. Now, because it's a team game, having the best players might not be the best way to go about it. And I say this because I looked at there's a team last year. The team synergy was a disaster. It was nowhere to be found. There was no motivation. And the players were not bad. The players can get results, but there was no team, I was
chemistry.
There was a team that also lost, but those guys, they went losing with smiles on their face, and I'm looking at something like that, and even the guys who I'm going to let them know that, if we win, cherry on the top, but what I'm looking for is, when we on the spot, we can still troll, we can still play our best.
And be willing to give each other advice and not get salty about it,
Yeah, so
you as a captain be able to go to one of your players and be like, you were saying earlier, you're doing this wrong, and helping on the spot and not getting an emotional reaction that actually makes them play worse.
Yeah, because I mean, there might be it might be a super strong player, but the minute you give advice or you say something and then he now is like, why do I really need to hear this from this guy? Then now you've just lost 10 points off that. So I'm looking for someone who obviously some people who keep that level head. And as if you can keep the level head and the team synergy is there, that even if I say, like, I'll give you an example, some of the players like Billy, I would say, here you played garbage, bruv. You know, and then you will laugh and be like, I know. You know, I'm looking for something like that. And then also they'll say to me, like, bruv, here, what was going on? Hey, you were playing garbage here, you know. And then I also just laugh it off, you know. That's the kind of team synergy I want, because then if you make the same error, I can say, hey, but you're still making the same error. Try do this. But now if someone takes it at heart and you're like, and now when you have to tell them again, okay, you're doing this again, try do that. It's going to be a hard conversation to have.
Yeah.
And that's the tricky part about having a team.
Yeah.
You know, that the strong players might not necessarily be
No salt,
a good fit.
essentially.
Yeah.
To summarize.
You know, the strong players might not necessarily be a strong fit because of that. You know, as I said, it's a team game.
Well, we'll make sure when we post this video on YouTube that we categorize this section specifically as what mentality you need to make it into Jabhi's team, and hopefully at least they improve their mental game while they're improving their actual street fighter at the same time.
Yeah. I mean, we'll be announcing players very soon, maybe in the coming month.
Okay. We'll be keeping our eye on that
we'll
for
see.
sure.
Obviously, we're still scouting now, so applications are open.
Get practicing, boys.
Do you think I have a chance of making it as a Platinum Blanca?
I know. Earlier on I said I'm not big on winning, but I'm not big on losing like that.
Well, we'll laugh when we lose.
No, I'm benching him. The whole season is on the bench.
Any closing questions from your side, right?
I think we really dove deep into the story and Jabhi's experience, which I'm glad that we were able to get out there and share with the audience. I'm just actually curious as a little bit of like opinion questions about the game and mechanics and so forth. So one of the biggest changes, in my opinion, is as you look at how the game has progressed since launch and how good people have gotten at perfect parrying. With the latest patch or the patch before that, they made it so that you now have to perfect parry low or high. What's your opinion on that? And what do you think has been the most tangible core mechanic change that has been brought to the game? And what else would you like to see changed or to improve the game and to improve options so that something doesn't get too strong or too weak?
Awesome.
Perfect parry needed to be nerfed. I mean, the big problem about Street Fighter 6 was how easy it was to turn momentum. Especially after from a perfect parry, because you didn't need to perfect parry any direction. You just press two buttons. You can press it in without holding any directional buttons. Press two buttons, hits at a certain frame, perfect parry. So I really like to change that. Now you actually have to guess. There's at least some skill behind it. That okay.
Almost like a taken low parry in a sense.
Yes.
There's some risk.
Yes, there has to be, because and now you get the imperfect parry if you parry the wrong direction, but it was in the same frame as like the perfect parry. You get an imperfect parry, which doesn't change frame data. If it was minus before, you'd be minus after, while the normal perfect parry allows you to punish. I like that because now I get to switch up my offense. If I would dash up and I meter you, I can now choose whether to go for a low or a mid. And you have to guess if it's on a low or a mid. So if I get perfect parried now in game, I already now have a mindset to say, okay, I press the mid and he perfect parry. This is how his go-to perfect parry is a mid. Next time I'm going for a low, Then I go for a low and he does the imperfect. I'm like, oh, so this is his default parry state. Now he goes for a mids, And a lot of guys really had a hard time.
I mean, adding that to your game suddenly must be difficult.
Yeah, but I mean, I completely agree with the fact that, I'm like, very average player, but like even when me and Luca played, it got to a point where he basically couldn't jump in on me because I would perfect parry his jump in attack every single time. So it was definitely I agree that this is a very good change where it also, that information you just spoke about where his default parry state, it just gives you more options to attack the player because you know what he's going to do.
Yeah, and if you get perfect parried, you're like, okay, next time, let me try this option. And then if you get perfect parried again, you're like, okay, this guy is good at guessing my attack patterns, So at least there's some skill behind it. Every time you get perfect parry, not like a random time a guy is like, okay, I think he's going to meet a perfect parry. And then after you get parried, back throw, you were in the corner. You know, they also changed sweeps from being a hard knockdown. So a hard knockdown is you obviously take longer to recover. Now sweeps are no longer a hard knockdown because what would happen is a random sweep will hit you when you have the guy in the corner and you try to go for a shimmy as a sweep and then he jumps over you. Now you in the corner. You see, so now they changed that so that it's no longer a hard knockdown and you can back rise. So you keep him in the corner, you know, unless it's a punish counter sweep. I really like the change. At first, when those changes came out, a lot of guys are like, no, this is not enough. You know, we need more changes. I know they want throw loops to be nerfed, but as I said, I've taken the game for what it is, you know, so I'm not too...
Hey, no throw loops, my Ryu is cooked.
Yeah, I might actually win a round.
But yeah, I mean, like, I'm at a point where it's like, the game has throw loops, I just need to guess right.
Yeah.
That's just how I look. I'm just taking it for what it is. And big thing that I learned in Japan, and I do this a lot, you know, I've really taken this one. You will throw me once, not again. And it's not like I'm going to throw tech, but there's something I'll do on defense. Either backdash, jump forward, you know, or wake up reversal. I mix up my defense. So it makes it really hard for people to read me, you know, but you're not throw looping me.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to do something because just sitting and waiting for someone to stop doing something, I don't think is enough incentive to make them stop doing it.
Yeah.
They'll probably do it 4 times, you've already lost 40%. Yeah, even if they stop on the 50th time, on the 5th time, you save that 10%.
Your health bar's pretty gone, bro.
Yeah. But if I backdash your throw, you win the corner now.
Yeah.
Next time, you'll think twice about throw looping me.
Yeah, that's something I think we need to add to our game a lot is that backdash. It's so powerful. You always see guys in the corner doing it. It's like it's not even registered in my brain yet, but it's pretty much like DIs.
Yeah, I mean, this guy, he can't counter DI to save his life.
Bro, like I'll win.
World Tour, like go into World
So
Tour.
bad,
There's so many mini games that help people react to DI. Like there's so many, like there's one they recently added with the Sagat update. The mini game basically, they're throwing logs at you.
Okay.
You know, the one log you have to hit with a low, the other log you have to hit with a mid, and then comes a fast log that you can only hit with a DI.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good information.
Might need that.
And then to the second part of my previous question was, is there any other mechanical changes you think would be good for the game?
Throw loops.
Is that it?
Throw loops. I mean,
Okay.
as much as I say I take the game for what it is, but if you ask me if I can make it change or make it better, removing throw loops.
So forcing meter to keep the loop going, essentially. Like you have to drive rush to be able to get that closer. Yeah.
Because my biggest issue with throw loops is because it can be done at any level. You know, and anybody at any level, at a high level, low level, is in the same position with the same amount of stress, you know, that you have to deal with. Because I was playing this other guy, and as I'm playing him, his ground game is not bad, but his offense is weak. But because of throw loop, now I had to whenever he gets me knocked down in the corner, I have to now make executive decisions. And that's where it's like anybody at any level can make you sit up straight.
Yeah.
You know, and that's where, because of throw loops, because you're just doing throw loops. Okay, you're going to take the throw, you gain that 1 meter back because that's the change that they did. If you take a throw, you gain...
it's the bonus, the positives to the guy throwing is ridiculous. Yeah.
You see,
But
so that's...
Yeah, what I like what you said there is that it doesn't require skill.
Yes.
Where, you know, you can have someone that's very average, and just because you're in that position offensively where you can apply these throw loops, it doesn't matter how good the person is you're playing against, they are in a very bad position. So if there's some way to bring that skill requirement back into, you know, maintaining a throw loop, like drive rush to throw.
Yes, I agree with that one, because you'll be losing a bar each time you want to go for a throw loop. You know, and...
Also gives the guys knocked down a chance to react in a different way. So it opens up options on both sides, to be honest.
That I actually like that change, because I mean, as I said, at any level anybody can throw loop you. Diamond, master, it's all the same.
Yeah,
When you're in the corner, throw loop anybody can commit and can do. You know, in Street Fighter 5, throw loops were there, especially in the later season. They were there, but they were fake. You know, you had to check them for trying to do throw loop. You know, because after one throw, they couldn't throw you again.
The pushback was pretty serious.
Yeah, they couldn't throw you again, but they could. if they went for another throw, they know that you're not doing anything after the first throw.
Yeah.
You know, so what they would do, so what players would do, they'd walk up meaty, you know, press a button. But obviously in Street Fighter 6, you can't do that because if they remove throw loops completely and they give it the Street Fighter 5 treatment, you take one throw, you wake up parry.
Okay.
Because that's the most logical choice now. And I get maybe that's why the devs don't want to remove it completely, but at least have some resources must be taken, because right now, if I play against certain guys and I'm like, oh, he's throw looping me. Oh,
Yeah.
now I need to now make those decisions now, backdash, you know, whatever, you know, and that's the thing. It's like, yes, at the same time, you can say, okay, I put myself in this position in a way, but because of drive rush as well.
Oh, corner
it's
carry in this game is ridiculous.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it's so easy to get someone into the corner, especially if you're going up against Ken. One hit, you're in the corner throw loop.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the thing. Even against Terry, you know, if I touch you once, you're all the way to the corner. But Terry's throw loops are actually a bit worse than others because he recovers. His recovery is a bit longer. Yeah. If you backdash Terry's throw, especially from his BNB, you always guaranteed to punish him.
Okay.
You see, for that, which is what I think they should do with other characters. But the drive rush, I really like the one that if you want to throw loop someone, you have to drive rush.
Yeah.
Because you can still bait a DP
Exactly,
if you drive rush jab, but at least something is gone from you, you know. And then if you're in burnout, you can't throw loop.
Yeah, I like that.
You know,
yeah.
so that would be a perfect change.
So I think from my end, I've only got one question left, and that is your time, like let's say perfecting your craft. How would you break it down in terms of how you spend your time? You know, playing versus watching videos versus time in the lab, if you were to split it up.
So I always, you know, before I head to work, I just log in to 10 minutes, not even much, like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and I do certain drills that, okay, I know might increase my gameplay. Like for recently, I started just messing around with parries. You know, just for the fun of it, get like Akuma to walk around, throw a fireball, walk around, throw fireballs and stuff, you know, and then I just do a drill of trying to perfect parry each fireball, you know, and then do cross-cut training drills. You know, I just do that for 5 minutes, turn off, go to work. Come back, maybe log in straight into and start playing. But when I watch matches, I generally watch and look for stuff that I've never seen before. So even when I watch a match I've never seen, I would watch the whole match and then try to spot what is it that guys don't try to punish and why. Okay. You know, like for example, Rashid's jump out at the corner, EX jump out, you know, nobody tries to punish that unless it's Chandi players. So I try to look at, oh, what can my character do? If there's nothing my character can do, I'm just like, oh, okay, next
problem.
Yeah, next problem, you know. But recently, I've been enjoying just messing around with parries, you know, and I've gotten so good at it because I've been doing it for a while, for like a couple of weeks now. I've gotten so good at it. There's one Akuma player online, like he did his EX fireball, and I perfect parried both hits. You know, and then he did the charge fireball and I perfect parried all 3 hits. And you know you have to be quick. You know? But because I've been practicing so much, to me, I was like, oh, I can do this.
Yeah.
So when I did it, that guy literally just stood still.
He's like,
you know, because it's like one of those things he's never seen. It's either they parry the first hit and then they continue parrying, but they don't do the perfect parry. So every time he did a fireball, perfect parry. I'm sure he thinks I'm cheating or something.
He must be like, oh, whatever.
Like, so
controller down.
So I was like, that's what I was doing. I was messing around with parries, and I've actually, it's like a small drill, but I was like, it's actually fun to do. And then I started now upping it. I'm like, okay, can I perfect parry JP spikes, both of them at the same time? You know, like just do 2 perfect parries. So I started messing around with that. Get Ryu to do the EX staging charge. Can I perfect parry all 3 hits? So I started messing around with that, but also with Ryu, I started messing around with seeing when he's going to do the Hashugenki and when he does the fireball.
Okay, yeah,
you know, and try to
the animation difference, yeah.
Yeah, and try to
it can
get
bait you pretty hard. I've been trying to, funny enough, focus on that a little bit, trying to like fake people out, thinking of fireballs coming, they jump, and you just did a quick little husher, just free DP.
So
I don't like his Ryu.
No, I've been enjoying the character. Finally, he's like top tier again, dude. Yeah, he's strong at the moment.
I think he's top tier. I think he's maybe A tier.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't think
it's a drive rush where he struggles still.
Who are the best characters in the game, in your opinion?
JP's number 1.
So top 5.
Top 5 is JP. Akuma. Terry, I'll put in 5th place. I'm just trying to think of 3rd and 4th. Bit of a tough one, eh? But yeah, JP Akuma. Blanca is definitely not.
Yeah.
Mena's just that
Just
good.
have Mena.
Yeah, it's just Mena. It fits Mena's play style. I want to say Ken, but he's the nerve to Genrai so that he doesn't eat as much driving as he does really did hurt him, and also the counter hit because now. But before, if he got a counter hit on Genrai, he would convert. Now it does a knockdown, so he can't convert.
Okay.
That really does hurt him. How could I forget
Yeah,
Mai?
sure,
Mai
she's
okay, so
cooked.
it's JP, Mai, Bison,
Akuma.
Rashid. Not Bison. So it's JP, Mai, Akuma, Rashid, Terry.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So and then
I
Bison,
think
I
it's-
would.
We
thing is,
definitely say those are problem characters as well. Yeah.
I would say Bison, but Bison is the more you play against the character, the more you see the obvious strengths and obvious weaknesses. The problem with Bison is the guy can guess well, Bison is cooked.
Yeah.
You guess wrong, you're cooked.
It's all big moves.
For me, if the other player selects a character, that's the problem character.
No, but JP, that guy, you know what? He's one of the, and I probably shouldn't say it, but he is the biggest carry character, Him and Ken.
I feel he doesn't
and
even
Mai.
belong in Street Fighter, to be honest.
Yeah,
Like-
he's not a Street Fighter
Yeah.
guy. He's a Mortal Kombat character.
yeah, bro, it's crazy. Juggle mania. It's like flipping, what's his name? Sonic Fox and Cyrax. It's like the same thing. Just bomb, float, nightmare.
No, JP, the thing is, you have to lab everything about the character. Okay, when can I drive? Even his reversal, Amnesia is the best reversal in the game.
Yeah, it's strong.
And you get the JP players that will tell you it's not better than the DP.
Yeah, I know.
You
Come.
know,
I
and
saw that in the Street Fighter group. I'm
Oh,
like,
the JP
what?
players, but they're trolling it. That thing, you get, even if you guess right and you try, so there's a high level technique called delayed button. So on someone's wake up, you delay your button slightly just to hit them if they try to do something. Like let's say if they try to wake up DP, the game will record you blocking.
Yeah,
That doesn't work on JP. The Amnesia is active way too long.
yeah.
You can't throw him in the corner because if you throw him in the corner and he does Amnesia, you in the corner.
Yeah.
Season 1 was ridiculous because you'd lose 60% for trying to throw him. And this is why Perfect Pair was so strong because now you didn't want to throw him, but at the same time you're like, I can't just let him wake up and do nothing. So what JP players would do, because they know you don't want to throw them or you don't want to press the button because you're scared of Amnesia, they wake up, stand, heavy kick.
Yeah.
They just wake up any button that comes to mind because you're so scared of Amnesia. Season 2, they put some scaling on Amnesia, but everything else is still the same.
Yeah.
So now what they do, if you try to throw them, they back throw you and maybe do some combo, do a setup with the portal, you got 2 guesses.
Yeah.
From a reversal. And the problem also with the reversal is, so he sticks bombs on you, you hit him, the bombs don't go away. But Bison's bombs go away.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, and what they do as well, if you meet them in the corner with a button, they will hold up forward because at some point you have to stop attacking before the bombs explode.
Yeah.
If you don't have a level 2 super specifically to get rid of the bombs, you have to jab, block, and then while he jumps out of the corner.
Playing a spectator sport.
Yes, there are other ways to go about it. Now I recently I saw a tech from Tokido that I stole. Jab, parry, and then jump back, medium punch, makes the bomb whiff. But it's like those kind of things that you have to lab from a reversal. Yeah. Then you have the level 2 that you now need to block the sequence. Yeah. And I've seen at a high level, everybody gets hit. Everybody, at some point, you'll get hit. You'll know the standard sequence. Then JP players mix it up with an overhead in between, or they jump a heavy punch. And one way or another, you're getting hit.
Daddy JP, cheap.
So,
cheap.
The portals are also another disaster. Those things. That character, he's as Problem X says, he's a Harry Potter character. He must go back to Hogwarts.
To think, that's one of the first characters that get released in the game, and he's just been so strong since day one.
It's how he is fundamentally. And Season 2 JP was perfect because he couldn't anti-air properly. You know, because Capcom had to do some big nerfs on the character, which he did. Because season 1 JP was ridiculous. He hits you with the level 3, he gets Oki.
Yeah.
The normal level 3, he had Oki, he eat a safe jump. There was everything wrong, and Capcom took all that away, and they took his crouch heavy punch away. Well, they made it so that he has to do it pretty early. He does it late. It either loses to your jump in or it trades.
Okay.
That was the best JP because when you got close to him, he had to now think twice about throwing fireballs.
Yeah.
Now, he just crouch heavy punch into EX.
Buffed him again. Bastards.
They went and buffed him again, and now they're leaving him as is, and everybody's having the time of their lives. Well, every JP player is having the time of their lives.
Well, let's see. Viper can maybe save us.
I'm still playing Terry. But I think Terry does well against JP.
Yeah, I feel like in a weird way, like if you have EX fireballs at your disposal, it helps a lot. I feel like that's almost one of my like tools. If I face it, just throw a charged fireball, it breaks through his crap, and you can kind of get close the gap a little bit. Yeah, that's almost like the survival tool for me, at least. Just EX fireballs.
For me, it's burn knuckle, because that one goes through his fireballs.
Yeah, it's potent ability. He has a cool ability that too.
Yeah, so it's like even his level 1 goes through those his fireballs. So now when Terry's walking up, he doesn't know when the burn knuckle is coming up. You know, and I said this to other guys, like when they asked me, how do you win the matchup quite a lot with Terry? I said, that's the one matchup I'm going to be random.
Okay.
You know, at any point of the screen, EX burn knuckle, full screen, I'm there. You know, against any other character is a bad idea.
Yeah.
JP, it's a fantastic idea to be random.
Okay.
You know, and that's what I do. I'm just random in that matchup. He doesn't know when it's coming up, but he knows it's coming.
It is very much a setup character, so you do need to kind of break the flow a little bit with him. You know,
you have to make him uncomfortable with throwing fireballs, because if you can make him uncomfortable with throwing fireballs, you pretty much have won the match. You know, but if you're playing Jamie, GG's.
Shame.
I don't get how people do that to themselves. It's like when
drunken master.
Yeah, like Zangief Balado, he only plays Geef. And he plays Geef against the worst character, JP. You know, and he always gets now eliminated in tournament. He meets Kakuri. He made Kakuri at Capcom Cup. He made Kakuri at Red Bull Kumite. He made a JP again in one of the tournaments. He lost.
Just find one character that can be your JP match, man. Yeah.
You know, I mean, I said this to guys before. I said, guys, if you have another character on the side that wins a matchup that your main character loses, practice that character for that one matchup, because there is no point in playing for so much money and knowing this character always beats your character every time. It's a bad guys go in knowing it's a bad matchup, and kudos to you for being a
loyalist.
A loyalist. Juju knows I'm always on his case about this, because he has a Blanca that beats Cammy and that can do well against JP. And he goes in with Jamie. He knows I'm always on his case about this, you know. But I mean, kudos to you if you're a character. I'm also a character specialist, but my character doesn't have that many bad matchups. And his bad matchups are now like it's like not that bad. It's
60-40s.
I wouldn't even say he's got a 60-40 match. I'll say 4.45.
Okay.
45 to 55. I think that's like his worst.
Okay.
You know, in this current season. Before it was 60-40s, but it wasn't a 60-40 that when you look at it, you're like, oh no, this
game over. Yeah.
Like when you look at JP and Geef, even the guy at the lowest level will tell you why Geef loses.
Yeah.
You know, but if you were to look at Terry against Akuma, the guy at low level won't tell you why Terry would lose this matchup. No, you'd have to explain it. But Geef, I mean, he'll just easily say, fireballs.
Yeah, well, I mean, Geef takes up half the screen. There's a lot to hit.
Well, Jabhi, I think that's good from you, hey?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Bro, thank you so much for your time. Yeah, I mean, family man, works 9 to 5. He's literally in Cape Town for work, but he takes time out of his busy schedule to come have a chat about Street Fighter with us. Yeah, that just shows you can do it, ladies and gentlemen. You can be working a day job. You just need to be as obsessive as this guy to become a world qualified player. It is possible. He is the proof in the pudding. Jabhi, thank you for joining us here, bro. Again, well done on all your achievements, being a part of your journey in some way, being able to spectate it all the way here from back home. Andre and I, we're always going to be pushing and cheering for you, bro. So well done again. We're excited for the rest of the year. Big events coming up. So everyone who's tuning in and watching this, SFL Europe, EWC, looking to qualify for his 3rd Capcom Cup? Fourth
Yeah,
Capcom Cup. God damn. This guy's he's up there and he's our local world warrior. So we're very proud of you, bro. Thank you. And again, thank you for your time. Have a
thanks
lovely
for
time
having
in
me.
Cape Town.
Shot so much.
Peace out.